It's Lupac, baby, in the building.
The truth teller in the building.
The pressure bringer in the building.
If you rockin' with Pac,
make some noise. Yeah, if you got them receipts,
put it on the floor.
If you got that truth,
put it on the floor.
If you rockin' with Lupac,
put it on the floor.
Hey, 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 hey. One time for the realest, bitch. Two times for the coldest, bitch. Three times for the bossed up, bitch.
Fuck it up.
Yeah, that's Lupac, bitch.
One time for Lupac, bitch.
Let's go.
Two times for Lupac, bitch.
That's right.
Three times for Lupac, bitch.
Burn up.
Fuck it up.
It's Lupac,
baby.
Walk in, whole room in a G-shift. Truth talk heavy, she don't ever miss. Stand on facts, yeah, she stand on 10. When Pac touch down, pressure step in. Spotlight glow when she hit that live. Whole chat lit when she drop that vibe. No fake love, only real ones roll. Lupac run the scene, that's how it goes. Clock that T receipts on sight. Drop one post on that ignite. Talk that truth, she don't play nice. Put it on the floor, expose that light. Go Lupac,
Go Lupac, go Lupac, go.
put it on the floor, Pac, put it on the floor. Time for the realest,
Bitch,
two times for the coldest,
bitch,
three times for the bossed up,
bitch. Fuck it up.
yeah, that's Lupac,
One time for Lupac, baby.
Hey,
Two times for Lupac, baby.
that's right,
Three times for Lupac, baby.
turn up,
Fuck it up.
it's Lupac, baby. Truth in her voice, yeah, the crowd gon' lean. When she clock them receipts, know she mean what she mean. No cap stories, she dismantle the fake. Every live she hit, make the whole chat shake. From the boot energy to worldwide view. Lupac, baby, got nothing to prove. Stand tall, crown never tilt. Pressure too heavy, whole lane get built. Put it on the floor, 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 put it on the floor.
Go Lupac, go Lupac, go. Receipts on the floor, let's go. One time for Lupac, baby. Two times for Lupac, baby.
That's right,
Three times for Lupac, baby.
turn up.
Fuck it up. It's Lupac, baby.
If you want some weird shit, stay away. Stay away from me. Period.
No weapon should profit.
No weapon form is going to prosper.
No weapon farm is gonna profit. Thank you, Pastor.
And another thing, if you coming with that drama and that negativity, you know what's going on. Stop playing.
Hold up. It's Lupac, baby, in the building.
The truth teller in the building.
The pressure bringer in the building.
If you rockin' with Pac,
Make some noise. Yeah, if you got them receipts,
put it on the floor.
if you got that truth,
Put it on the floor.
if you rockin' with Lupac,
Put it on the floor.
hey, 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 hey. One time for the realest, bitch. Two times for the coldest, bitch. Three times for the bossed up, bitch.
Fuck it up.
Yeah, that's Lupac, bitch.
One time for Lupac, baby.
Let's go.
Two times for Lupac, baby.
That's right.
Three times for Lupac, baby.
Burn up.
Fuck it up.
It's Lupac,
baby.
Walk in, whole room in a G-shift. Truth talk heavy, she don't ever miss. Stand on facts, yeah, she stand on 10. When Pac touch down, pressure step in. Spotlight glow when she hit that live. Whole chat lit when she drop that vibe. No fake love, only real ones roll. Lupac run the scene, that's how it goes. Clock that T receipts on sight. Drop one post on that ignite. Talk that truth, she don't play nice. Put it on the floor, expose that light. Go Lupac,
Go Lupac, go Lupac, go.
put it on the floor, Pac, put it on the floor. Time for the realest,
Bitch,
two times for the coldest,
bitch,
three times for the bossed up,
bitch. Fuck it up.
yeah, that's Lupac,
One time for Lupac, baby.
hey,
Two times for Lupac, baby.
that's right,
Three times for Lupac, baby.
turn up,
Fuck it up.
it's Lupac, baby. voice, yeah, the crowd gon' lean. When she clock them receipts, know she mean what she mean. No cap stories, she dismantle the fake. Every live she hit, make the whole chat shake. From the boot energy to worldwide view. Lupac, baby, got nothing to prove. Stand tall, crown never tilt. Pressure too heavy, whole lane get built. Put it on the floor, 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 put it on the floor. Go Lupac, go Lupac, go. Receipts on the floor, let's go. One time for Lupac, babe. Two time for Lupac, babe. That's right, three time for Lupac, babe. Turn up, fuck it up, it's Lupac, baby.
If you want some weird shit, stay away. Stay away from me. Period.
No weapon should profit.
No weapon form is going to prosper.
No weapon form is gonna profit. Thank you, Pastor.
And another thing, if you coming with that drama and that negativity, wet, you know what's going on. Stop playing.
Hold up. It's Lupac, baby, in the building.
The truth teller in the building.
The pressure bringer in the building.
If you rockin' with pop,
Make some noise. Yeah, if you got your receipts,
put it on the floor.
if you got that truth,
Put it on the floor.
if you rockin' with Lupac.
Put it on the floor.
Hey. One time for the realest, bitch. Two times for the coldest, bitch. Three times for the bossed up, bitch.
Fuck it up.
Yeah, that's Lupac, bitch.
One time for Lupac, baby.
Let's go.
Two time for Lupac, baby.
That's right.
Three time for Lupac, baby.
Burn up.
Fuck it up.
It's Lupac,
baby.
Walk in, whole room in a G-shift. Truth talk heavy, she don't ever miss. Stand on facts, yeah, she stand on 10. When Pac touch down, pressure step in. Spotlight glow when she hit that live. Whole chat lit when she drop that vibe. No fake love, only real ones roll. Lupac run the scene, that's how it goes. Clock that T receipts on sight. Drop one post on that ignite. Talk that truth, she don't play nice. Put it on the floor, expose that light. Go Lupac,
Go Lupac, go Lupac, go.
put it on the floor, put it on the floor. Time for the realest,
Bitch,
two times for the coldest,
bitch,
three times for the bossed up,
bitch. Fuck it up.
yeah, that's Lupac,
One time for Lupac, baby.
Hey,
Two time for Lupac, baby.
that's right,
Three time for Lupac, baby.
turn up,
Fuck it up.
it's Lupac, baby. Truth in her voice, yeah, the crowd gon' lean. When she clock them receipts, know she mean what she mean. No cap stories, she dismantle the fake. Every live she hit, make the whole chat shake. From the boot energy to worldwide view. Lupac, baby, got nothing to prove. Stand tall, crown never tilt. Pressure too heavy, whole lane get built. Put it on the floor, 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 put it on the floor.
Go Lupac, go Lupac, go. Receipts on the floor, let's go. One time for Lupac, baby. Two time for Lupac, baby.
That's right,
Three time for Lupac, baby.
turn up.
Fuck it up. It's Lupac, baby.
If you want some weird shit, stay away. Stay away from me.
Hey, Pog Squad. What's up, y'all? Shout out to y'all. Happy Tuesday. What is going on? Hold on, y'all. Let me get it together. Let me stop. What's up, y'all? Listen, we trying to get in the algorithm with this Karmelo Anthony situation, baby. Okay? We advocating, y'all. We doing our little ones too. I feel like more content creators slash bloggers slash journalists should be speaking out on this situation, y'all. One of the things that I noticed since I've been, in these streets doing my little 1-2, checking the scene is that if you notice, uh mainstream media, they not talking about this. They talking about it, but not in the way that they should. They're speaking, they basically dragging Carmelo's parents, they dragging Jasmine Crockett, they dragging the big platforms that's on Carmelo's side, y'all. Peep the play, okay? And then you got new stream, I mean, what do they call us? New stream media or whatever. Like the bloggers and the CCs and stuff like that. We're speaking out on the injustices and the schemes, the witness tampering, the bribery, the threats, all of that. We speaking on that. But they not paying that any attention. And I find that very mind boggling. Like, something in the milk ain't clean, which we already know that and established that the whole trial was rigged, child. But that's kind of crazy to me. The fact that mainstream media is not speaking on all of the things that's being exposed right now. I feel like they don't want to look like Boo Boo the Fool, because this case is gonna blow wide open. Like, it's coming, y'all, and I can feel it because it's a lot of eyes on this situation and it's getting bigger and bigger. And typically that's what you need when you trying to get some results. When you're trying to get some results, when you can prove injustices and a flawed system, the eyes gotta be on the prize. And that's exactly what's happening with everybody speaking out, from TikTok to YouTube to Facebook. Yeah, we doing the damn thing. Let me see who we got in here. Y'all make sure y'all please share this live stream out. If you have a platform, share it on your platform, on your community wall, share it to your Facebook so we can get in this algorithm. I will be going live about this every day as much as I can, to get further into the algorithm. I'm gonna set another live stream later for saga updates, because some of my people been asking for updates on the saga. So we'll do that later, about 7:45 maybe. We'll do a live stream on the saga. But as of now, we doing Carmelo Anthony. Okay. Okay. All right, let me see. Hey, Queen Love Mail. Hey, Miss Angela B, Miss Tracy. We got Miss Renee, Jaisha. We got Miss Deborah. We got Punana in the building. We got Lady in Flight. We got It Don't Matter. We got Miss Michelle, Yumika. We got my bro Terry, of course, Miss Jocelyn, Miss Angela D. We got Miss Lavada, Miss Griggs. Shout out to the green team for always being VIP in the chat. Thank you, Terry, for the copyright disclaimer. We definitely need it because I want to show y'all something. Okay, I gotta show y'all this video. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as a criticism, comment, news report, and teaching, scholarship, and research. Let me get the other part. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. We definitely need that, y'all. Hey, Suki. Hey, Miss Selena, Miss Veronica, Miss Sandra. We got Miss Shannon in the building, Miss Wooten. We got Miss Melody. We got Miss Shalonda. We got Nay Graham. Shout out to you. She's new here. Welcome to all the new people. Matter of fact, I got a good bit of new subscribers that's tuned in regarding this situation. So shout out to y'all. Please be very vocal in the chat. Don't be hiding in the bushes, baby. Okay? This is a grown woman/man conversation. What's up, Scorpio? Hey, Miss Roz. Who else in here? Let me see. Convos with Key in the building. Queen Sag. We got Capricorn. We got Miss Val. We got something serious. Period. Chosen. Love you. Hey, Brandy. Let me see. We got Miss Michelle. Thank you, Tahira. Thank you for my first super. Y'all show me some love with the fireworks. I actually got, my bro, my musical engineer, to make me a little sound for y'all with them fireworks. Okay. I might not be able to play it on this live because I'm not finished with it yet. I'm trying to make a video with it, y'all. So it might be on our live stream later on tonight. We'll see. It just depends on when I can finish with it. But I did get him to create a sound for the firework/super chat party. Okay. It's so tight, y'all. Wait, I can't wait till y'all hear it. I said they're gonna be turned. Y'all already turned with the intro, so y'all gonna be even more turned with this one. Okay. What's up, Eric? Who else in here? Thank you, Miss Michelle, for the firework. We got Miss Stephanie. We got Miss Lisa. We got, let me see. Thank you, Lady in Flight, for the fireworks. She said, always enjoy your content. Thank you, my love. Thank you, I'm chosen. Sweetly favored, a collective hate. I see Tamik. Y'all, I still cannot see Tamik in the chat. I only can see when y'all reply to us. So shout out to Tamik. I know she's listening. For some reason, there's an issue with YouTube where I cannot see her comments. I don't know what it is. She subscribed to me. She's a member in members only, but I cannot see her comments, y'all. I'm not blocked. She's not blocked. We corrected that and it still does not show. I don't know, child. I don't know what's going on with that. You might have, Tamik, if you're listening, you might have to um create another channel or maybe log into another channel and see if that helps. Other than that, I have no idea what's going on with that. But shout out to Tamik because she does support my channel. Hey, Miss E, I think things are going to turn in Carmelo's favor. I think so too. And it's a little it's happening a little at a time, but so much is being exposed, y'all. When I tell y'all these creators are amazing, like they pulling the skeletons out the closet. Okay? It's coming, y'all, especially with what I'm about to show y'all. This was major, okay? Let me do my disclaimer. If you would like to donate to me monetarily, you can cash at me a $Lupac2. You know, I got a couple of people that like to buy me coffee, and I'll be getting my little coffee. I got one right here. You can also support the platform by getting a super chat or a super sticker. You know, I always set a little goal. It ain't much, it ain't mandatory, but it's greatly, greatly appreciated because it contributes to the revenue of this particular live stream. You can also support me by getting a membership. Shout out to the green team. I know I owe y'all a members only live. I might try to do it today too. That'll be 3 live streams. We'll see. It just depends on the timing. If not, maybe we can get to it tomorrow because we got a few things to cover in members only as well. Y'all, please watch those ads. Please hit that like button. And at the end of this live stream, hype your girl up. Y'all know the vibes. Support your fave. Okay? Period. All right, y'all. So let me say this. Now, if you've been tuned into this whole Carmelo Anthony situation, then you will know that it was this man by the name of Dwayne Turner that came out early on into this situation. Now, mind you, I want to say he was the very first witness, quote unquote, that spoke out for seeing the actual 11-minute video. Now, it's a big discrepancy surrounding this situation as far as, how many videos there are, which one is actual factual, whether it's 4K, whether it's pixelated and grainy. And like I said, he was one of the, if not the first one to come out and speak on and attest to going to Frisco ISD, signing the paper to be able to see it. I was told that they had to sign an NDA. They stated that they could not record or film. They had to leave their phones in a separate area. It's a whole hot mess and a half, y'all. But let me tell y'all this as well. Now, once this man in particular, and mind you, I think he lives in that area. If I'm not mistaken, he's in Collin County. So he knows a whole lot about this situation because he had been advocating for Carmelo since it first happened. So it's him amongst other people that have grouped up and are working behind the scenes, putting pieces together, figuring out things and just, uncovering bribery, witness tampering, it's threat, like it's all kind of stuff, y'all. And whenever I was looking on somebody else's channel, I seen where they was posted allegations of said witness, criminal history, or as if he's on SEX registration, right? Now, I'm not gonna say he is because I haven't seen it for myself, but they, once he started speaking out, they started posting that. Okay. But I can't confirm nor deny if it's actual factual because I didn't see it for myself, y'all. I didn't go on the registry or see anything like that. But I found it really ironic how that all of a sudden surfaced once this man started speaking out. And based on what I heard last night, I like to say he's, if not the most the most informed concerning this situation, meaning he knows a hell of a lot. And that's probably why they put that out there to try to silence him. But it's real ironic because when you go down a rabbit hole and you watch the creators that's speaking on that Carmelo Anthony situation, you can see that damn near every male, damn near, not all, um, has a criminal background with some sort of actual assault on it, right? From the judge to the DA to the dad. The only person that I would say that doesn't have a criminal history involving actual assault is Carmelo's dad. So that's real crazy how, hold on, y'all. Let me grab my eye drops real quick. All right. So, like I was saying, it's real crazy how they're trying to silence and or discredit Dwayne for those allegations, but you got the judge, like I said, who presided over the trial that literally has an extensive background. You got the DA, you got the father who just been exposed for actually doing real prison time behind his actual assault from 2009. It's just crazy, y'all. Like, what is going on, child? It's ironic how you got stone cold criminals allegedly that's in control of this situation, but literally holding the life, y'all, of other people in their hands, in the palm of their hands. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It shows how it's all about who you know and not what you know. Okay, y'all ever heard that saying? Especially with these little small towns. I'm in a little small town, so I kind of know how it goes. Like, if you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, you can get away with a whole lot of ish. They tend to seal documents and records and histories and all of these things when it comes to their faves or people that they're in connection with, but anybody else can get thrown to the wolves. That's the crazy part to me, because a lot of people been trying to get their hands on the Metcalf's dad's record and it was sealed. But they got people, like I said, who know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that can get their hands on it and then got their hands on some of it. Somebody even sent me a little 1-2 of his record. I just didn't put it out because I haven't verified it yet. So I didn't want to put it out there yet or, post it on my platform. But yeah, it shows that he was arrested in 2009 for I think it's aggravated sexual assault, something like that. I'm gonna look at it again and see, y'all. But you say that's not the right person. Austin dad has no record. I don't know, ma'am. I don't know, because they're putting it out there. If that ain't the right person, it's his picture is on it. So I know Lakeisha Keisha did a video on it earlier. So we're gonna leave that where it's at for now. We're gonna leave that where it's at for now until we can verify it. But yeah, that's besides the point. Anyways, so like I was saying, y'all, they've been trying to silence that Dwayne Turner guy, and after watching Lakeisha Keisha's live stream that she did, I want to say day before yesterday, interviewing him, I see why. I see why they've been trying to silence him, because he knows entirely too much. And y'all finna hear it. Y'all finna hear some of the things that he said. He gave a very, very detailed look into this entire situation, y'all, as to why certain things was done, what's happening behind the scenes. Is crazy. Okay. You say I had that problem with NCP. I don't know how she fixed it. Okay, I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna check with her and see what she did. But hey to everybody that's coming in, y'all grab y'all seat, y'all popcorn, y'all wine, whatever y'all gotta get. We finna get into it, baby. All right, let me pull it up, y'all. 1 second. 1 second, mods. Make sure y'all hiding heavy in the trap with AKA the chat. Because you never know who might fall through and try to distract us. Y'all know how it goes, especially with this situation, baby. The racists have been uncovered. The mask is falling off. All right, let me see. Let me see. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up real quick. Make sure y'all hitting that like button for your girl. And if you can, support the goal with a firework. That is also appreciated as well. All right, let me see. Hold on, y'all. Gotta pull a live up. I wish I had a timestamp. Surprise witness. Okay, this is it right here. All right. All right, let's see. And shout out to Lakeisha Keisha. She has a very big platform, and she actually interviewed the witness on her channel 2 days ago, y'all. You can go to her actual channel and see the video in its entirety, the interview in its entirety. I'm gonna play a good bit of it, but not all of it. And y'all know how this goes. Whenever you're giving reaction as a creator, you have to stop in the midst, in between, the talk to give talking points so that I won't be copywritten. Okay, fair use is created for a reason, baby. So for the ones that be like in the chat saying, "Let the video play, let the video," we can't do that. When we give reaction, we have to give talking points. That is literally why we're able to utilize fair use. Have to give talking points in the in between time. So if you want to see it in its entirety without interruption, you can go to Lakeisha Keisha's channel. All right. I just had to say that because we always get a few boo boo the fools that come through, start hollering, "Let it play." Y'all know how it go. All right, let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna try to fast forward it to, or you can see where I stopped off.
Karmelo.
Let me try to get to when she got the interview up there. Okay, here you go.
I remember you saying.
All right, let me take her thing off of here. Hold on. Y'all, it's raining like crazy here in Louisiana. The rain has been consistent and not like it'll stop for a little while and it come right back. But once again, shout out to Lakeisha Keisha for doing this very, very, very detailed interview with Dwayne. All right, here we go.
That you had until 4:00, right? So I said, I'm gonna send it to him to start at 2, so that gives him more than enough time. But I apologize. I was
further
the video in your
so you have to kind of acknowledge that you're there. They let you in the building, you give you your driver's license, and they scan it.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back just a little bit.
Request
the video in your name.
So right here, y'all, he's getting into how he was actually able to view the video at Frisco ISD. Okay, he's giving the details surrounding what you had to do once you walk in. All right, let's play it.
He says you saw the video, so I know that you actually saw the video. So I want you to start by telling me, when did you see the video? Like, I would assume it was in last year, right?
It was last year in June. I saw it in June of last year.
Okay. Can you explain what that process was like?
Yes. You had to put in what they call a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act, or request for information, or PIR, public information request. And once you put that in on their website, they would actually acknowledge that you put it in, and you would get contacted by one of their administrative people to set up a date and time for you to come. And they'll give you some available dates, and you'll choose from those dates or say, I can't, what are the dates you have. And once that process is done, you actually set a date. They confirm that date is set. You go in, and once you get there, it's at the administration building, the Frisco ISD administration building in Frisco, Texas. And once you get there, you have to, they have a little camera system outside, so you have to kind of acknowledge that you're there. They let you in the building, you give them your driver's license, and they scan it into the system. And once they scan it into the system, they create you an ID badge with your driver's license picture on it, and it says your name and has that you're a visitor. Once that's the case, then what they'll do is they'll have somebody come get you, and they have to take you up to the floor where they have the viewing at. And so it's in a conference room. At the time that I was seeing it, only one person was going at a time. Later on, they had 2 or 3 or 4 people going at a time as they start getting more requests. But once you've seen the video and you've viewed it, they actually send you confirmation to let you know, because by law, they have to let you know that your PIR or your FOIA request has been closed. And so they send you an email that states, hey, this serves as a receipt that you have seen the requested video, and thank you for your time, and they go about their business. So there is a process, and anyone that's seen that video outside of the snippets that they showed in court to the people in the court and the snippet of a video that they showed the actual jury, you have to go see it at Frisco ISD because it's property of Frisco ISD. It didn't belong to the DA's office. It doesn't belong to the Frisco PD. It doesn't belong to the parents. It belongs to the general public through Frisco PD, Frisco ISD. And so that's one misstep or information piece that people put out there, that this video would be readily available elsewhere. Normally, since it is a school district, you could just actually put in a request like I did in the beginning to actually get a copy of the video, and they send it to you. But because this was a moment that they knew that they were going to do what they did, they actually said no at first to people that they were not going to show the video, but then they realized they had to show it. And so that's when they allowed it, because it works as the same, that you can show it to you or release it to you. But ultimately, once the case is over, you have to release the footage because this is public information. And so that's kind of where we are now, is that the information should have been released. I know myself and others that had requests in, we just did follow-up emails to remind them that we had it. But I also put in fresh requests too for not only that video, but also other video. And
Y'all know what too? I actually think that's a good thing. The fact that it's actually the property of, and I'm talking about the 11-minute video, the one that's actually in its entirety. And I'm, now that I think about it, because the video that he's referring to is the video that a few people have came out and stated that they seen, Karmelo being attacked in that specific video. But whenever I listen to Mel, who was actually in court for the entirety of the trial, he stated that the DA showed them a grainy pixelated video that you can barely make out who was who in the video and see what was actually going on. And also in the video that the DA showed, there was no attack in that video, which tells us that somebody was playing with something. Somebody was doing a little editing, a little manipulation of that actual visual, right? But and also it could have possibly came from it had to. That video had to have came from a different camera, a different surveillance, right? It could have came from I don't know the area, but this particular video that he's referring to, along with a couple other people, if y'all remember that elderly white lady, she went to view it. It was another black lady that went to view it. It was a man by the name of 12 on TikTok. He seen it 3 times. It's a few people that actually went and seen it, and there's a list floating around that shows that, the people that requested to see it and the people that actually seen it, because it says yes or no by their names, right? But like I was saying, this is a good thing to me, in my opinion, because the DA can't mess with this. Is then, the school has possession of it, and at this point, because this is so high profile, you never know who then took a copy of that video from the school's possession, maybe an employee or whatever, just to stash it for emergency purposes. Because you never know who can go through that and threaten and intimidate and say, give me that video, or destroy all evidence or, copies of the video. So hopefully, because I know everybody's watching this, y'all. everybody. Collin County, if the whole world watching this at this point, you know the people of Collin County is tuned in. So hopefully somebody got a copy of it, in its entirety, the cleared 4K version, and they got it stashed just in case somebody, because it's a lot of crooked stuff going on within this situation. So hopefully they got it stashed for emergency purposes for the sake of this baby that's sitting behind bars from being railroaded with a rigged damn trial. But like I was saying, clearly the DA had a manipulated, edited version because you couldn't even make out who the kids was in that video. They said they zoomed it in a whole lot and it was already, and when you zoom in something that's already pixelated and of bad quality, it makes it even worse, to the point where they had to spotlight who the twins were in the video just to show them, and then they still couldn't even make it out. So basically they looking at something that, is manipulated, is edited, is zoomed in, and they're spotlighting and saying, hey, this is twins right here. But if you can't even see their faces, then all we going off of is them, the DA, the prosecution saying this is them. But how we know that's actually them, right? So, y'all, it's a whole lot going on within this situation, but I'm glad a lot of people got their eyes on that actual video. And they still have possession of it. I even was on a TikTok panel last night in the chat, and it was a guy on the panel that was stating he showed a document that it's like a law or something that you can rebuttal with the attorney general shutting down the viewing of the video, and you can actually put that into rebuttal because of the Public Information Act. They cannot refuse people from seeing that. Is under that act for a reason, legally binding under that act for a reason. So yeah, all right, hold on, y'all. And thank you, Miss Yolanda. Hope everyone is having a good day. Thank you for that firework, my love. I appreciate you. All right, hold on. Let's play.
I'll explain that probably later on in a couple of months or something once we get some litigation done. But once we did that and start getting putting the request in for the transcripts and all those different things that you do, the lady was actually getting me copies of the court case when I was there that morning after he was sentenced and everything. Then all of a sudden I seen a lady run from the back and she stopped her because that's when they noticed that everybody was requesting and they wanted to seal everything. So the rule of thumb is right after these cases, you want to get the information quick, because most of the time when they're hiding something, it takes them a few hours to get their mind right to start sealing stuff. And so I almost got a copy of stuff before they did it, but I'm on the list to get it. The transcripts was not ready yet. We'll see if they release those. We already really have transcripts because most of the news media did a good job of doing a minute by minute moment of what was said. But as far as the video, they're relying off of the actual ruling that our Attorney General in Texas, Ken Paxton, gave them last year. It's not a new ruling. So I want to let people know that, and let's be clear. It's not a new ruling. Ken Paxton didn't say, hey, let's just stop it. He didn't do that. They're relying, and Frisco ISD is relying off of his ruling from last year. And if anybody has that letter, you can read it. It'll tell you the date. And it says 2025. And so we have to just basically appeal it to to Ken Paxton, the Attorney General, let him make a ruling. And based on his ruling, then we can sue, or he'll make them give us the video out, because they really don't have no standing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I apologize. I did not introduce you because I didn't know if you wanted people to know your name. But now that I see it's out there, his name is Dwayne, for the people that's asking me. Dwayne was the guy that went viral. I didn't know who he was. I just was on social media and I saw this video, and he's been out there talking about seeing this video. And what I was saying, guys, is he showed proof. A lot of people are saying that they saw the video. I don't know if they've shown proof, but he's actually shown proof. And some people that said they saw the video, their name is not even on that list. Some of their names is on there, but it says that they requested it, but it said, did they see it? And it says no. So some of these people that's saying that they saw the video, they may have requested to see it, but they never actually saw it. That's
Correct.
what I. So why do you think, Dwayne? Because you kind of spoke on originally you can go see the video, right? But now, why do you think all of a sudden they're saying you can't see the video? They have already shown this video to people.
Well, they were showing it up until I want to say, was that June or July? It was toward that moment they were still showing it. We had a young lady with her group on TikTok, led by some of the people on the Metcalf side, decided they were going to go in and film the video, and they got caught. And when they got caught, it gave Frisco ISD and the DA cause to actually stop the viewing of the video. And what they stated in that ruling, which I actually have a copy of that too, they said that because of the illegal activity of trying to film the video, that they were going to stop everyone from having access to view it. Now, in that light, it is not in the state of Texas illegal for someone to film a video in a public place when they have been invited in to see it. So that means that every one of us that went to go see it, we could have filmed it. And we just didn't really pay attention that we could have, but we could have. They had the right to refuse to show it to us, but we had the right to film it. And so when this young lady tried that, everybody was.
Let me say this, y'all. What he's explaining right here is somebody from the Metcalf side actually went to Frisco ISD intentionally trying to film the video just to be able to stop people from going and viewing it. They knew it was against policy. They did it intentionally and on purpose so that others couldn't view it. But he actually, the people that's working behind the scenes on Karmelo Anthony's side, they actually did the research on the laws and found out that they wasn't even supposed to stop them from viewing it, because not only was it public record, but once they invited them in to be able to see the video, they were legally able to record if they chose to do so. So they were illegally stopping people from recording the video. And people, the average person is not going to go and research laws and rights and stuff like that. They just gonna go by restrictions of the building. They gonna go by what the people is saying. Most people ain't gonna go research and find out what they can and can't do. But it's a lot of smart people working behind the scenes that's getting things done. Okay, all right, let's play some more.
Saying she needs to go to jail, all that stuff. And I kept telling her, need to pause, because now I read the law. The law said that she had a right to do so because she was invited in. But they used that as that reasoning. So myself and others contacted them and told them, you need to continue to show it because you said illegal and criminal, and nothing she did was either one of those things. So we started fighting them on that, and that's still an ongoing battle. They know that time is always on their side. It's never on our side. So when they do something, they know it takes a while for you to fight and get them to actually do right. And for you, it doesn't work that well. So that's kind of where that was. But it was a concerted effort from the beginning. They just didn't know what to do because they didn't expect for so many people to be interested in this Karmelo Anthony situation. And normally, we got to be honest, we don't be interested. We'll be like, what happened to that boy? And then a month later, we're asking, hey, whatever happened to little Polo Tink Tink? Did he get locked up? But in this situation, since a lot of us live in this area and live here, I live in Little Elm, and Frisco is right. It's our sister city right next to us. Some of my kids go to their schools. Some of their kids go to our schools. We were privy to that moment from that day. I was actually in the area when it happened. And so we were getting real-time information from the schools, from parents, from all of that. So it made us interested, even though a lot of people in this community wasn't paying attention until he went to trial. But there was a few of us that got interested. We dug in, started figuring out what was what. When I saw the video, we've been advocating for him through the death threats, through displacement. I just moved into another house from being displaced in November, right after Thanksgiving, because of death threats and people coming in my house. And so it's been a journey, getting doxxed and all kind of stuff. But to me, the righteousness of our people is more important to me than my safety or peace of mind in my bed. So that's kind of why I've spoke up to this moment.
Okay, I like where, okay, so this is a good place for us to kind of go into some of that. Now, without saying anybody's name, because we don't want to get these agitators and these liars any more ammunition. Now, there's been stories that, the folks been lying, making it seem like folks is messing with these Metcalf people. And I know, because I have followed the story, and I know that the family stated that they had to move so many times. Then Dominique, I can't remember his whole name, but the guy that was working with them said they had moved about 8 times. We know that the father, Karmelo Anthony's father, who was the only person really working in the house taking care of the family, they continue to go to this man's job. Therefore, he is not working. So these folks have been harassed. People have showed up at their homes. And I know you, because you had stated that you had been advocating on this case since 2025. You had been subjected to being harassed. You had talked about your home living situation. Can you kind of explain what you have went through just from trying to advocate and help this family without even saying the folks? You don't have to say their name.
Yeah, it's been tragedy, to be honest with you. I guess is the word I can choose. It's been tragic, and not only for myself, but a lot of people who were advocating for this family. Because I started in April advocating for them when it happened, and so from being doxxed to people calling my business phone trying to get me fired from my home business, to people showing up my house, being locked up by people that were advocating with me, which I thought it was the people on the other side doing it, but I found out through court records it was actually some people that were advocating with us on this side that now I found out were actually working with the other side. It's complicated, but that's that moment. I will speak to this. I will say this, because I did see a lot of information and people talking about Dominique Alexander, who was and still is the spokesman for the family. And I will say this about Dominique. That man has been solid from the beginning, and he's been the same now till yesterday, because I haven't seen anything about him today. And so I know people have their understanding and their feelings, but a person that's a spokesperson is only that. They're your spokesperson, and they're only doing what you tell them to do. And so a lot of things that Dominique tried to do in this situation, he can only do what he's told to do and speak for the family. And so I do know in the beginning, and I will speak to this, in the beginning, he stepped up. He started speaking for the family. He brought who he trusted. I'll put it that way. And that was Miss Cole and Mr. Clark that was on this case right after the court-appointed attorney recused himself because he had a conflict of interest, which that was the Metcalfs and other people involved with them. And so since he had that conflict of interest, Dominique brought the people that he knew, that he trusted. They were there for a little bit, start working on the case. Those were other people advised the family they need to go with Mike Howard. And they interviewed him. They did all those things. They chose him. So at that point, of course, Dominique is the spokesperson. He has to go with what the family chose. Now, in that moment, was it the right choice, wrong choice? People could debate that all they want to. I've said since September of last year that they need to fire him. And I said since September last year that if they didn't fire him, this baby did not need to go to trial, because we went to trial. These people had it set up for him to get 30 years. I said that from September all the way to February. And so
don't mean to cut you off, but of course we still not going to reveal names. You have people there that's telling you stuff, right? Is that correct? So you have people there. So when he says he knows this, it is because he has inside sources, guys. I just want to lay that foundation, because we'll get deeper into it, because you have people that and how interesting is it that you said that he was going to get 30 years and he got, was it 35 years? Is that what he got?
Correct. I just needed to back up. Yeah, I'm on the phone call. You need me back up? I'm just asking these police have somebody pulled over, so I didn't want to be in their way. But yeah, so I do have people that I speak to and that I know. And so in those moments, hold on just a second. I'm just gonna ask them right quick.
Okay.
Do y'all need me to back up out of your way?
I'm sorry.
You need me to back up out your
I just took him off of the speaker while he.
That was some of Lil Elm's finest. They had somebody pulled over and like they're doing a warrant check. So I just wanted to make sure I was out the way. But yeah, so I do have people that I know that's on all sides that I had a privy to talk to. Even at the day that we were there out at the courthouse and he had been found guilty. I had people who came out of their houses that came to greet us and to come pull us to the side and say, hey, we never thought that he was going to be convicted because they had no case. So we took money to do agitating stuff, to do this, to do that. And so these individuals are willing to go on record and say what they know and know what they say. And I guess I put it that way. So yes, I do have people that I've talked to throughout the year and some change. I have people that have come to me and have emailed me and have called me since then that have information on all the people that we only suspected was doing some stuff nefarious to this family. And I have to say this too. There is nothing that Andrew Anthony and Kayla Anthony have done to do nothing but support their son throughout this case. Let me say that. Because at the end of the day, these people were put and subjected to something they were not used to. And so they have to trust people. And if people don't understand that, then they need to just get a life, because you do have to go through things sometimes that you don't understand. And they trusted a lot of people to give them advice. And it was just some bad moments going on. And so they'll parse through that and be able to talk about that on their own. Andrew Anthony told y'all that he wished he could have just got to a place to where he went rogue, to where he can just jump on out the way and go and talk to those people that they were telling not to talk to. I was one of those people that he was talking about. And so I'll speak to that. And so, but we do, and I do have information about a lot of things that's inside. And so we do know a lot of those people that were nefarious to this family. And some are still speaking for the family right today. And we'll deal with that another time because it's not the platform to do it. But
so
yeah, go ahead.
Y'all, it's about to get really, really good. So make sure y'all are listening good, paying attention. Because when I tell y'all, he's about to put some information out there. And because shout out to Miss Angela, because she noticed from Harmony's video, that's when he first came out. Now, mind you, he said a couple things about what he seen in the video when he first came out. But in this interview, he's about to expose a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes that people ain't privy to. So he about to give a whole lot of tea, y'all. So make sure y'all paying attention and listening in. And I got that troll that was in here trying to disrupt the chat and putting on, because I was like, why would she come back in here? Now, mind you, yesterday, whenever I did my live stream, she put in my comments that she was disappointed in me for showing like an example of the Schmurder weapon that was used. And I'm like, hold on, why would you be disappointed in me for showing that when, I've been watching creators that actually was in court. And this is an example from what they've been saying is that the prosecution didn't even show the actual Smurder tool that was used in the unaliving. They showed a picture of what it looked like, right? So that's what I showed. And the lady was like, I'm disappointed in you. That's not it. Da, 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 da. So I told her, I was like, well, if you was in court, if you have an actual, firsthand account of what was used and you were actually in court, then send me a copy of it. But she ignored that portion of what I said and was like, sent. No, that's not how that works. You're going to have to prove that you actually seen it. Other than that, I'm going to go with, who I feel is credited. And another thing too, I want to address y'all real quick. To the people that, that comes in the chat or come into my comments saying, you need to be reading from the transcript or giving out the actual facts of the case. From my knowledge, all of that has been sealed. And at least 90% of the creators that's speaking on this situation, they don't have the transcript either, baby. Just like the video was sealed, I'm pretty sure, and I heard a lot of the big creators that was in court that can't even access those transcripts. So we're not finna do that. This is a reaction channel. I am a blogger slash content creator. Okay. So if you don't want to hear my opinion, then go where you want to hear opinions of other people. It's not that serious. We all grown at the end of the day. We don't do that racism stuff over here. We ain't doing all of that trying to distract the chat and da 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 da. Go. I never understood why people don't go where they actually enjoy the commentary. Why come and try to throw monkey wrenches and distractions in other people's chat when you don't support it? That's so weird to me. But I just had to say that, y'all, because I did have a troll in the chat that, was acting like they was a supporter of mine, but saying all kind of weird stuff in the chat. Okay. All right, let's get back into it. But y'all pay attention to what he finna start going into. Y'all mouth finna be on the floor.
So basically, what you're saying, or what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying that there are people who were paid to do all kind of stuff because they did not think that he was going to actually get convicted. So they took the money, did what they were doing, but now that he has been convicted.
A little bit. Let's back it up a little bit because I want y'all to hear this part.
And say what
I just took him off of the speaker while he.
That was some of Lil Elm's finest. They had somebody pulled over and like they're doing a warrant check.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure I was out the way. But yeah, so I do have people that I know that's on all sides that I had a privy to talk to. Even at the day that we were there out at the courthouse and he had been found guilty. I had people who came out of their houses that came to greet us and to come pull us to the side and say, hey, we never thought that he was going to be convicted because they had no case. So we took money to do agitating stuff, to do this, to do that. And so these individuals are willing to go on record and say what they know and know what they say. And I guess I'll put it that way. So yes, I do have people that I've talked to throughout the year and some change. I have people that have come to me and have emailed me and have called me since then that have information on all the people that we only suspected was doing some stuff nefarious to this family. And I have to say this too. There is nothing that Andrew Anthony and Kayla Anthony have done to do nothing but support their son throughout this case. Let me say that, because at the end of the day, these people were put and subjected to something they were not used to. And so they have to trust people. And if people don't understand that, then they need to just get a life, because you do have to go through things sometimes that you don't understand. And they trusted a lot of people to give them advice. And it was just some bad moments going on. And so they'll parse through that and be able to talk about that on their own. Andrew Anthony told y'all that he wished he could have just got to a place to where he went rogue, to where he could just jump on out the way and go and talk to those people that they were telling not to talk to. I was one of those people that he was talking about. And so I'll speak to that. And so, but we do, and I do have information about a lot of things that's inside. And so we do know a lot of those people that were nefarious to this family. And some are still speaking for the family right today. And we'll deal with that another time because it's not the platform to do it. But
so
yeah, go ahead, sis.
So basically, what you're saying, or what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying that there are people who were paid to do all kind of stuff because they did not think that he was going to actually get convicted. So they took the money, did what they were doing, but now that he has been convicted, they feel sorry. Is that what you're saying? That they participated?
Yes, they felt sorry and confused. One young boy was crying so hard, and he actually brought the money that they gave him. He had it at home in his jar, and he brought it to give it to us because he felt so sorry in his mind he never thought that these people were ever going to be able to do anything other to Karmelo other than let him go home, because he knew as a young person what really happened. And so he was like, hey, free summer money for me to be able to go and buy stuff and do stuff. But it's
Did y'all just hear that? Like, did y'all really, like, literally just hear what he said? He said people were being paid to harass the Anthony family because in that little town of Collin County, nobody actually thought that Karmelo was going to be convicted because people out there really know what really happened on that day in April of 2025. The people of that town know what really took place. They know Karmelo was not in the wrong. So people, kids were being paid to harass that family. And he said that there's a few of them working behind the scenes that's connected with the family. And one of the kids, because Karmelo was convicted, they brought them, he was so distraught and so up behind it, I guess his conscience, he ended up bringing the money to them and letting them know what was going on, because they didn't think that they was going to do nothing to Karmelo. They thought, they knew he was innocent. He finna go into it even more, y'all. Pay attention.
just a moment to where you get to a place to where you're trying to figure out this whole space. And I think that's why so many emotions were so high. They were very high. You had people crying. You had news media crying out there at the courthouse. They had to come. Yeah, they had to compose themselves so they can go back on their live and on their news stations and actually give the report.
Wow.
And that's just how emotional it was, because there was no one out there, save myself and a couple others, that knew that thought he could ever get convicted. But I knew that it was already a moment that they had planned, because again, I will say these names, and that's on me. This is not the host or the platform. You have Judge Roach, you have D.A. Willis, you have Jeff Metcalf, you have Sarah Fields. All these people are part of the MAGA Republican Party here in North Texas. They all hold some type of, yes, go ahead, ma'am.
I just want to say this. Those names that you have stated, I've heard some stuff. So just go ahead and finish.
Yeah, it's a lot. And so, but they're all, and this is just one connection. They're all part of the Republican wing and connection here in North Texas. Some of them hold positions. Others are just fundraisers. Jeff Metcalf has been a fundraiser and a supporter for them for decades in his real estate ventures. Some of his real estate guys have actually helped get me in trouble during this venture, and I'll talk about that another time. But they're all part of that moment. And so since that's the case, they all had an express motivation to do what they did to Karmelo. Because if you really investigate this case, Hunter, EP, who is Eddie, the guy that testified, Chris, Ant, I'll just say his nickname, Ant, and a few others will be the ones in jail for the murder of Austin Metcalf, because that's how the law reads in Texas. And if you're during the commission of a felony and you call and one of the people, the perpetrators, are unalive, at that point in time, all of you become guilty of that greater crime, which is the unaliving or the murder. Yeah.
I said that before you joined. I said, look, because I always tell them I'm not a lawyer, but I can read and look up stuff. I said, I believe that's a law, that if you are committing a crime, a crime is, we're going to go whoop his tail. That's still a crime.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be doing that. But in the commission of that, if somebody loses their life, we're all going down. That's what I told them.
Correct.
That's what I told them.
Did y'all just catch that? So according to Texas law, if somebody passes away in the act of committing a crime, meaning all of the boys that allegedly jumped Karmelo would have been held responsible for Austin's death. Okay? But because the way they rigged this situation, they basically pinned everything on Karmelo to take the fall. So all of them, if when the truth comes out, and the things that the witnesses that seen the video are actually stating, when the truth actually comes out, the real truth, it's gonna be hell to pay, baby. It's gonna be hell to pay. And this is why, let me give y'all an example. This is why Hunter didn't testify. This is why if y'all notice, and after I finish playing this, I'm gonna play those clips of Hunter when he did those interviews on the internet. Yeah, telling the world how he was a part of it, how he was there. About one interview, he grabbed the bag. The next interview, the brother did this. Then the other interview, he didn't do this. The brother did, like, it's all over the place, y'all. But notice, if you look at every single reporter or content creator that was in the courtroom, they all stated that Hunter was not there. He was not there. But Hunter said out of his own mouth in interviews that he was there the entire time. So why wouldn't he testify? Let's make 2 + 2 = 4. He didn't testify because he knew they would catch him up. That's why, and y'all, and from my knowledge, he didn't even go to the trial until, if I'm not mistaken, the sentencing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn that Nika Knight, because she was there, and along with some other bloggers, stated that Hunter wasn't even there until towards the end, and he didn't even get on the stand. And the reason he didn't get on the stand is because they concocted that whole situation to pin it all on Karmelo. This is why witnesses were getting caught in lies. That's one thing I will give the defense. Like, even though they was a part of it, allegedly, they still had to do a little 1-2 to make it believable. And they did catch a few people up, in their lives on the witness stand. But yeah, Hunter, they were smart by not putting him on that stand because they knew that he had already started putting statements out to the world on interviews, letting people know what happened. But then when you get witnesses on the stand, they saying Hunter was nowhere around. See, they were saying those things to exclude themselves so that, because listen, once it's known, once it's a fact that multiple people confronted Karmelo, multiple people assaulted Karmelo, it makes his self-defense even stronger. Even stronger. This is why they try to push the net. Well, this is why they pushed the narrative in court that it was only one twin, Karmelo versus Austin. Okay, but it was more than just Karmelo versus Austin. It was Karmelo versus Austin, Hunter, along with a couple other boys. All right, let's keep going.
Now, can you tell? Now, I know you spoke about different people being paid to do different things, but they did not realize that this was going to result in a conviction. Talk about the agitators that were outside the courthouse. Did you have any?
And let me say this too, y'all. This is another reason why the transcripts of the actual trial is sealed. Because they know that the public is already putting 2 and 2 together. The minute people get a hold of those court transcripts, see, right now it's just word of mouth, and people that was in court saying what it's coming off as their opinion because they was in court, but they don't have it to back it up. They don't have the paperwork, so it'll basically they just giving their opinion on it, right? But they sealed those transcripts and that evidence for a reason. Because, like I said, everybody testified that Hunter had no involvement. And the other boys that testified, like Eddie, Eddie tried to act like he didn't know Karmelo and Karmelo was the aggressor, but they know that people can literally compare and contrast the transcript versus the interviews that Hunter did early on in this situation and show the deception, the discrepancies, the lies. People can, pinpoint and show in real time if they got that transcript. That's why they locked that shit, okay? That's why they locked it, because they don't want people putting 2 and 2 together with the facts. But it's all gonna come out. It's all gonna come out. It's coming out as we speak. Even more gonna come out.
Did you run into any of them? Because I heard a lot of, there were a lot of agitators. And I believe I saw in another interview that you did that you said somebody was out there and you said something about they kept coming back or something. And you asked them, like, what were they doing? And the person said, look, I was just paid to be here.
Yeah, you had a lot of that. You had a lot of people that showed up probably 3 days in a row, and they would just ride the parking lot. You had some people that came, and there's a video of that of they kept coming, and one of the people that was out there with us was like, "What are y'all doing?" And they started uh, yelling the N word, calling them monkeys and everything else. And she ended up throwing some Cheetos at him. And I think he was surprised that she actually did it. You had people like that all over the place. Some people that used to be advocates for Carmelo Anthony came out of the courtroom before he was actually sentenced or before he was actually found guilty while they were deliberating. Went got something to eat, and they were riding the parking lot laughing and doing the same thing that Sarah Fields and her people were doing with their kids in the back seat, laughing at the signs because we had plenty of signs out there. And when he was found guilty, and that same individuals that used to advocate and still right now advocating for him were out there laughing. And they told their followers that they were actually in the courtroom when he got sentenced. They lied because they were outside with us, looking at us, cuss me out, roll by, cuss me out right quick. So all these things are real things from all paid and out there certain things to here out there because it was theoretically peaceful, even with some of the Metcalf people that showed up until Jake Lane showed up with his little protest moment that got him ultimately arrested on the $1 million bond he in there locked up for right now, and just people like that came out. So it was a lot of agitators, a lot of paid people, and it was a young lady and a man in the car. They just kept riding. So I went to them, asked them if they needed anything to drink because we had Gatorade water, and they stopped and they was like, "Yeah, bro, we'll take some." And we just got to talking. He was like, "Bro, I'm just riding around because they paid me to come over here and look at y'all and laugh." I was like, "Bro, keep doing what you're doing. They paid you. You know, make sure you get your money worth."
Wow.
And we laughed and went on by our business because I understood that this was deeper than just Carmelo, the Metcalf twins, the kids that were there. It was just deeper. And I understood that it had a deeper meaning that was past all this moment because a lot of those people did not even care about Austin losing his life. They didn't even care about whether Carmelo did it in self-defense or not. They just cared about the opportunity to make money, to get their fame, and some for whatever ideological purpose or religious purpose or political purpose that they chose to do what they did in that courtroom. I don't understand that yet. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And that's what we're working on right now. But it's a greater moment than just these guys choosing to bully like they've been doing since the 4th grade and stepping up to Carmelo and doing what they did, because all the testimony in the court said that Eddie actually told Carmelo as he was walking by to go stretch, "Hey, come here, Melo, come here." And he came here and he sat down. They dapped up and they talked. And in between that, someone reached out to the Metcalf twins and the other friends, and they came from the school area and they came over there and assaulted him. That's a fact. That's what's on the video. That's what was said in the courtroom.
Y'all heard what he said? Thank you. That one. Justice for #Justice for Carmelo. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, did y'all hear what he just said? He said that Carmelo was on his way to go stretch. And that's when walking towards the field to go stretch, and that's when Eddie hollered at him and said, "Hey, Carmelo, come see." And that's when he dapped him up. They got to talking. That's why Carmelo went under that canopy. He didn't just voluntarily walk over there to start chat. Okay? That didn't happen. And then somebody went and told the bullies, the Metcalf twins, that Carmelo was under there because they wasn't even under the tent at the time. If y'all notice, Hunter gave an account on one of those interviews that the one he did with his mom. He said that Carmelo just came up under there and was sitting behind him and started saying inappropriate things. But according to Eddie, and this is another reason why Hunter didn't testify, y'all. They didn't get their stories all the way straight, okay? But according to Eddie, Eddie said that he called them to that. No, he called him to, and he said, "Hey, Carmelo, come here." He was on his way to stretch for the track event, and that's when he came, dapped them down. They start talking. This is crazy, y'all. We need 60 more likes. Yes, y'all, hit the like button if you are enjoying this live stream. If you want me to keep going, keep advocating for it, help push me into the algorithm. Hit that like button, y'all. Support the goal. I think we need like 15 more with the goal. Thank y'all for all the gifts. I appreciate you guys' support. Period. I love y'all down. Okay? All right, let's go.
How can you get from that and then the jury come back and say that the man is guilty of murder?
Exactly.
Right.
Because the fix was already in.
I'm glad you went there. So let's get into it. Tell us what you saw when you watched the video.
Oh, pay attention, y'all.
Okay, when I saw the video, you can see that Karmelo and other kids are already sitting up under the canopy. And it wasn't just Memorial kids sitting up under the Memorial canopy. It was other kids too, because all of them had friends around. You had the Memorial canopy. You had two canopies from Timberview. They're back to back right next to each other. And then you had another canopy next to that. And so right there, it was peaceful. You can just see kids sitting. The administrator that's there showing you the video tells you, hey, look right here in the top right-hand corner, because that's where you're going to see the boys coming from. And she's speaking of the four. And you can actually see those four.
One thing I want to say, Dwayne, because that's the part that everybody says this. When they say when you come in to watch the video, they tell you, look right here. So it's crazy that they can tell you where to look so that you can see what's getting ready to happen, but nobody saw what happened. That doesn't make any sense.
Correct. Because she's telling you all kind of things. She's telling you it's a lot going on, because it's a lot going on. Kids are working out in the field. You can see some parents or grandparents sitting right up under the 40-yard line camera that's over on the home side. And the guy had his hand on his forehead like this the whole time, because he's looking directly at what's going on. Wow. You can see the raindrops coming down. And right when the twins, well, actually, it was right when they were coming up, one of the boys veered off to the right. It actually was two of them, but on the camera, you can see one that veers off to go to the coaches to distract them. And then you see the other boys coming along. One goes in front of them and bypasses the little girl in the yellow poncho. You hear people talk about that all the time, which is EP's sister. She was sitting down there at the bottom. Then you see the four guys that come up and walk up. And so these four boys never sit down. They never do anything but surround Karmelo. And you heard in the court that the attorney, the district attorney, was trying to get the witness to say, well, they weren't in the U shape. They were in an L shape. You know, that's the type of contention they had, but they were actually surrounding him. So Karmelo is sitting down. Yeah, he was sitting down. And so when they came up to him, you could see the thinner boy, which is on the end, which was one of the little black boys. He was kept going up and down. So that means he was agitating Karmelo. You could see Austin Hunter directly in front of him. And the mixed young man was sitting over to the right. So they had him cornered in. He couldn't go anywhere. And so at this point, they are sitting there.
Let me tell y'all one thing I know about body language and truth. And if you ask any body language professional to review him telling this story, then you will know that people aren't like, when you telling the truth, it comes with a lot of details. Okay. The way this man breaks down the scenario and the details surrounding the incident, that's how you know he's being truthful. Like, he knows entirely too many details, including what people had on, what they had in their hand as an accessory. Like, that is crazy, y'all. But peep how he explains and breaks down this situation of what exactly happened.
Austin actually pushes Karmelo, and he pushes him so hard until he falls back and hit the bleachers. Now, in courtroom testimony, they said that he actually fell in the lap of another kid, but there was no other kid sitting behind Karmelo.
Wow.
So there's that. And so he did hit his head. He came back up, and once he hit his head and came back up, then you seen Austin.
Don't mean to cut you off. I do want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that we learned about Karmelo is that he suffered from seizures.
He did.
So you throw somebody and they hit their head, he could have lost his life. You see what I'm saying? He had every right to defend himself, because nobody knows where it would have went after. You know what I mean? After he hit his head, who knows what would have happened after that moment?
Correct. And that's kind of the whole moment of it. He suffered from epilepsy, so he suffered seizures. He also had surgery on his shoulder. He had injured it in football, and so he was recovering from that. They had just cleared him to go back to track and start running. So he had a lot of disadvantages. He was smaller than them. It was two big dudes there and two other dudes that played football, and then they had other guys that was around. It was a young man. I ain't gonna say his name, but he was filming the whole thing. That's the one that we see on Snapchat of the 2 minutes before. That everybody had the still pic.
Y'all, pay attention to what he about to say right here. Now, for the ones, let me elaborate on what he just said. Karmelo has epilepsy, which means he catches seizures. I said this on my other live. And he was just recovering from a significant shoulder injury, okay? That ended his football season. But he was just cleared to go back to track. So he had a lot of disadvantages, not to mention they saying Karmelo was around 130 to 150 pounds at the time of the incident. The Metcalf twins were over 200 pounds. I don't know how much the other boys that was, involved in the assault, I don't know how much they weighed, but just those two twins together, this is why they coerced a narrative that excluded one of the twins. That's why. But it was stated, according to Dwayne, on the video, whenever, they tried to downplay the push in court to make it seem like it was just a little shove, nothing major. But multiple people have stated it was a linebacker push, okay? It was significant to the point where Karmelo hit his head on the bleacher going down. That's how clear the video is that they seen. And that's probably why they didn't show that video in court. The prosecutor ain't going to do nothing to help the defense. And this is where the defense gets blamed for doing a piss poor job. Because ain't no way in hell. And that's what makes people think that they are a part of the rigging of this trial. Because ain't no way in hell you're going to have firsthand knowledge of a video's existence that multiple people at the school and in the surrounding area of Collin County then viewed, and y'all ain't gonna go get that goddamn video and turn it into for discovery in that trial. Ain't no way in hell. That's an easy win. That is an easy win. That video alone is the self-defense case. They didn't even need testimony once that video is shown. Because in any legal trial situation, video evidence is the best when trying to prove a case. Witnesses can, it varies. There's a lot of inconsistencies with witnesses. A trauma when people witness certain things. Stories become faint or they differ, like they change. But when it comes to video evidence, the only way it's changing if it's manipulated, if it's altered. But it shows what happened in real time, and you don't even need nobody's words to co-sign it. So that's what's making people feel like the defense was playing the field with the prosecution. They was in cahoots to convict this young man. Because why the hell wouldn't y'all go get this video? Literally, this video is still able to be damn accessed. Even though they try to shut it down. I don't know if they shutting it. I don't know if they it's the Attorney General, according to people that have emailed and tried to go view the video. It was shut down by the Texas Attorney General. People even providing proof showing the reply email stating that they can no longer access the video, which proves there's a video. That's proof in itself. Just the reply email stating that we can't let you see it in so many words. So I just can't wrap my head around why the hell wouldn't the damn defense get this video and submit it for discovery? It's not making sense, y'all. And what's his name? Mark, whoever Karmelo's attorney was, he's supposed to be one of the top dogs in Texas. Dwayne even gonna state how Mark has a commercial video on his platform where he says, if your attorney don't get the case handled / dismissed before the trial, then you need a new attorney. Make it make sense. How you a top dog in Texas, but you did a piss poor job and basically handed this young man to the wolves. This is crazy. But it's all unfolding, baby. God don't sleep and God don't play. That's why certain things were put in motion and in play for all of this to be exposed after the fact. And Judge Cockroach, he think he finna go on and retire after this situation. This is finna be your legacy, sir. This finna be your legacy. This is why the actual trial was why the public wasn't able to, or the cameras weren't able to be in the actual trial. It wasn't because people, like Judge Roach said in his interview. What judge do an interview after a case, after a trial? He stated the reason why, because the interviewer said, was it hard for you to make the decision to not have cameras in the courtroom for this trial? And he was like, no, that was an easy one, because jurors and judges and, prosecutors and stuff tend to behave differently when cameras are in the room. Duh. Of course they do. They got to be on their P's and Q's, baby. They can't do that little bullshit that y'all pulled in the courtroom when the cameras are in there, because it's being televised. You can't get away with murder. No pun intended, okay? When them cameras in there, you can't do that slick-ish. You can't manipulate the jurors. You can't talk your shat to the defendant, because it's a lot of things that's being alleged that was done in that courtroom, y'all. My God. Oh, child, listen, Linda, they would have been arresting me and my son at the same damn time. I would have been cutting flips in that courtroom. Do you hear me? I don't play by mine. Let me keep going.
Epilepsy. So he suffered seizures. He also had surgery on his shoulder. He had injured it in football. And so he was recovering from that. They had just cleared him to go back to track and start running. So he had a lot of disadvantages. He was smaller than them. It was 2 big dudes there and 2 other dudes that played football. And then they had other guys that was around. It was a young man. I ain't going to say his name, but he was filming the whole thing. That's the one that we see on Snapchat of the 2 minutes before. That everybody had the still pics of Karmelo sitting and we could see him from behind. Listen, that's a whole video. That young man filmed the whole fight. So
you're saying that there's somebody on TikTok?
He's on, I said Snapchat, my bad. On Snapchat, not TikTok. Yeah, so Snapchat.
Snapchat, and he has this stuff online?
Correct. It's been shown all over the place. And a lot of us have the 6-minute video of him showing and the still shots. He has the full video. And also, let's just be honest, a lot of people have seen his full video because it was actually out on Reddit. Some people seen it on their Snapchats. It showed, but it was a disappearing link, and they didn't know to record it. And so it's out there. I know this as well because here in the local area, on the 2nd of April, the 3rd of April, and the 4th of April of last year, we actually saw kids posted on their social media.
Wow.
And so we saw the fight. We saw the incident. They call it the fight, but it was the incident of Karmelo getting jumped. So we saw it.
Let me pause it there. So if anybody missed what he just said, so Dwayne basically explaining that the people that was involved, that been having a hand in this, that been paying attention, that been advocating, this been going on since April of 2025. That's when the incident happened, y'all. But, most of social media is just getting involved now. But it's some people that been in the midst of this situation since it first happened. And for example, there was one guy that videoed that went to see the real fights, the actual tape, the incident happened where Karmelo got jumped and all of that. He was posting all kind of videos and images on his social media, i.e. his Snapchat. But he was posting the video with a disappearing link because they were stating at the time that the people viewing the video wasn't supposed to be recorded, right? So he was showing the actual incident with a disappearing link, meaning that once you view it, after you view it, it disappears. So nobody thought to record. Y'all, listen, as a blogger, I know once I look at something, baby, it's recording. Okay? Because you never know what's going to happen. People change their mind. People don't want to talk about it. It goes away, blase, blase. But nobody who's seen the disappearing link thought to record it, as it was showing. But he said they seen multiple kids reposting it. So he said the video exists in the world, meaning not Frisco ISD ain't the only one that got it. It's just people probably scared to put it out there because it's a lot of threats and things that's happening behind the scenes. He about to get into that too, y'all. Okay, he about to get into that too. Let's go.
Till they scrubbed it and took it down. And so a lot of people still have that video. They still have that feed and that footage. It's just that they've gotten threatened. They've gotten all those things. It was actually alleged in court, so I'll say it, that Jeff Metcalf had actually did a whole barbecue for all the witnesses to come to, and that's where he threatened all the parents.
Boom.
And so that's something that we've contended and said last year. They actually brought it up in court, so I'll say it here. And so those are things that happen. So you can see them actually jumping him. The first person to throw a punch.
Let's not let that part pass by that quickly. Okay? He just said that it was said in court that Jeff Metcalf, the twins' dad, threw a barbecue and invited all the witnesses. Mind you, the majority of the witnesses were kids that was around and a couple adults, but threw a barbecue and threatened the parents to make sure that they kids got on them stands, on that witness stand, and said what they were supposed to say. Okay? And it was brought up in court, i.e., another reason why the transcripts are now sealed. They don't want this information getting out. Because if you're familiar with a transcript is totally different from just having access to public record. Y'all know, like the stuff that we get from with the saga, like the court documents. A transcript is everything that's stated in court that day. Word for word, person for person. That's the transcript. So every single thing that's stated word for word in that courtroom is in that transcript. And it's sealed. I wonder why. But imagine that. This is where I go back into and tell y'all, these people in these little towns be having a lot of power. And it gives me that. It gives me those Metcalfs know people that know people that know people, and they got a little power. They got a little pull in their town. Because if you gonna invite some people over with their kids to a barbecue and then threaten them to make sure they say what you need them to say on the stand, that is crazy. That is crazy. But it's not far stretched because that's how they operate. That's how let me shut up. That's how they operate, y'all. Okay? All right, let's go. I think I pushed it back a little bit.
Huh?
So you're saying that there's somebody on TikTok?
He's on, I said Snapchat, my bad. On Snapchat, not TikTok. Yeah,
so
Snapchat.
Snapchat, and he has this stuff online?
Correct. It's been shown all over the place, and a lot of us have the 6-minute video of him showing and the still shots. He has the full video. And also, let's just be honest, a lot of people have seen his full video because it was actually out on Reddit. Some people seen it on their Snapchats. It showed, but it was a disappearing link, and they didn't know to record it. And so it's out there. I know this as well because here in the local area, on the 2nd of April, the 3rd of April, and the 4th of April of last year, we actually saw kids posted on their social media. And so we saw the fight. We saw the incident. They call it the fight, but it was the incident of Karmelo getting jumped. So we saw it until they scrubbed it and took it down. And so a lot of people still have that video. They still have that feed and that footage. It's just that they've gotten threatened. They've gotten all those things. It was actually alleged in court, so I'll say it, that Jeff Metcalf had actually did a whole barbecue for all the witnesses to come to, and that's where he threatened all the parents. And so that's something that we've contended and said last year. They actually brought it up in court, so I'll say it here. And so those are things that happen. So you can see them actually jumping him. The first person to throw a punch was Hunter. Hunter cold cocked the boy, and that's
Wait,
when they jumped on him.
that's funny that you say that, because right before you joined, I said this boy is guilty. You can see it in his face. He knows
Correct.
that something he did caused his brother's death. I said that.
Mm-hmm.
I said
Yep.
he
Correct.
is guilty. When I look at him talking and he's doing that press conference, he's looking up, he's looking down. That's a sign of guilty. A person who
Correct.
can't look you in your face, they have something to hide. And then as I watch his mother, it's almost like she's crying, but she's not telling the full story either, because I believe she knows what happened.
They both do, and I'm gonna tell you that as a fact. And this is Dwayne saying that Jeff Metcalf and Megan Metcalf definitely knows the truth, but they're stuck between a rock and a hard place because Austin was their favorite child, and they know that Hunter is guilty of causing that man not to be here no more, because Hunter is the one that started the whole situation. And so, as he said on his interview, that my brother always has my back, even when I'm wrong. He said that out of his own mouth. So that's on his interview, not mine. And so, since we know that, and that day, once he threw that punch, they all started beating on Karmelo. Karmelo disappeared at the bottom because they're all on him, and they're hitting each other, hitting him. Karmelo actually gets away. That's what people don't understand. He got away. He backed out. Austin grabbed his hoodie and pulled him back. And on the video, you can see his gray hoodie stretched out and him coming back. And you can see the look on his face. It was despair because he thought he got away from the beating, and they got him. And when they brought him back in, Austin grabbed him and put him in a headlock. That's why you can see the ligature marks on the bottom of his neck. And that's when one of the kids, I believe, I don't know which one it was, so I won't call their name, but one of the kids actually testified to it.
When he say that's why you can see the ligature marks under Karmelo's neck, he's speaking of Karmelo's real appearance after the altercation, not what mainstream media edited and put out for the mugshot early on. It's being said that picture was altered / edited, y'all. A lot of people seen Karmelo after it first happened, and he had bruises, knots, and ligature marks, which is, like if somebody choking you or whatever, the marks around your neck or at the bottom of your neck, he had that. So it wasn't a situation where, oh, they just pushed him, he didn't have no marks. No, that's what they want people to believe. And that's why they edited that picture and put that picture out to remove the wounds, the marks from Karmelo's face. I'm gonna go back just a little bit.
Hunter is the one that started the whole situation. And so, as he said on his interview, that my brother always has my back, even when I'm wrong. He said that out of his own mouth. So that's on his interview, not mine. And so, since we know that, and that day, once he threw that punch, they all started beating on Karmelo. Karmelo disappeared at the bottom because they're all on him, and they're hitting each other, hitting him. Karmelo actually gets away. That's what people don't understand. He got away. He backed out. Austin grabbed his hoodie and pulled him back. And on the video, you can see his gray hoodie stretched out and him coming back. And you can see the look on his face. It was despair because he thought he got away from the beating, and they got him. And when they brought him back in, Austin grabbed him and put him in a headlock. That's why you can see the ligature marks on the bottom of his neck. And that's when one of the kids, I believe, I don't know which one it was, so I won't call their name, but one of the kids actually testified to it in trial and said that they saw that Karmelo had to reach behind his back, and he grabbed what was already open. And when that happened, as the older white lady said, and I ain't gonna say her name, but she was sitting up on our canopy for a few days after she came from inside the courtroom. She told everybody from what she saw that he fell on it. And that's something that we've contended, that Karmelo may have reached for something. He may have gotten it, but he definitely fell on it because the force that's needed to cause the damage that they're saying that happened, you have to have a lot of pressure. And Karmelo sitting down could never muster up that type of pressure. So he had to fall on it.
That's good.
And so, yeah.
Wait, let's stay there, because
let me say this too, and it makes sense, y'all, what he's saying. If we going off of the damage that they said that utility tool / knife caused to Austin, if y'all remember, they said that the knife portion of the utility tool is like a 6-in-1. If y'all familiar, that's why they call it a utility tool and not a knife, because it's multiple little pieces that's on it. We call it a 6-in-1 utility tool out here, right? It come with like a little screwdriver, a little knife, a little corkscrew, a little flathead. You know, it's different things. But it was only like 3 inches, if I'm not mistaken. 3 inches, 3.5 inches, something like that. I heard Dr. Umar state that only, I can't remember, child. I ain't even gonna repeat it. I'm gonna probably play that video too, but a portion of it went in. But it was stated that because of the damage it caused, it had to have been from him falling on it. Maybe when he was going in to hit Karmelo, he might have fell. Because mind you, all of this is happening on bleachers, and it's raining at the time. Like, it's raining, it's wet out there. It's easy to slip and fall. Hence, Karmelo fell when he was running down to get to the bottom of the bleachers to go and tell an adult, the coach or whatever. So it's not far stretched to believe that Austin fell onto Karmelo, and that's how the stabbing happened, the poke happened. Okay, especially with the damage that they are saying that happened to Austin with the situation. It's not far stretched. That's why Dwayne is saying he had to have fallen on him for that type of damage to happen, because Karmelo was sitting down the entire time. He was seated. This wasn't no butcher knife. This wasn't no sword or no hunting blade. This was a little blade attached to a utility tool. If you know, you know. I showed it yesterday on live. I showed an example of it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Miss Glenda. Thank you for the firework. If anybody else wants to support my goal, I think it's a couple left on the goal, y'all. If y'all want to complete it for your girl, I would truly, truly appreciate it. Just hit the like button. Also, let's get back into it. All right.
So what you're saying is, and I've heard this before, he never stood up.
Nope.
He never stood up. No. Even when he tried to get away, he was in a mood. When he got away the first time, he was kind of like if you know defensive backs in football, they're crouched down. And so just imagine he's sitting and he's crouched down trying to get away, and they're pulling him. So he never fully stood up until the second time after he got away, and he ran backwards about 2 or 3 steps up. He looked to his right, and that's where the young man that was filming was sitting or standing with the film moment. And then he looked to his left and took off, and he went down. He fell. And when he fell, that's when they all realized he was gone, because they didn't even know he was gone yet. And when they saw he was gone, they all got up to chase him. He got up and he ran. Even Austin got up to chase him. And Austin realized then that he was hit, that something had happened. And that's when he came down the steps and he fell down. But Hunter and the other 2 boys started chasing him. But Karmelo was so fast that he got away so quick and got to the coach that they just stopped and pointed.
Right.
And that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around and he saw his brother.
You know what? When they said they chased them, I said, no, they was fighting, because what are you chasing them for?
And listen, that's how you know that a fight had to have happened, y'all, because if all of this was behind them trying to make Karmelo get from under the canopy, we got to say canopy because it wasn't a tent, it was a canopy. If all of this was behind him getting out of the canopy or getting from under their school, their school canopy, then if Karmelo started running, it was no reason for them to chase him. Logically speaking, think about it. If we just want him gone and he start running away, we have no reason to chase him, because mind you, they didn't even know at the time of them chasing him that Austin was even injured, because Austin took, Austin started running also to chase Karmelo, but when he realized he was injured, he collapsed. And all of the other boys was ahead of him. So they didn't even know Austin was injured at the time of them chasing Karmelo. So that's how you know something happened for them to pursue a chase. Karmelo was so fast. He was on the track team. He took out running. He fell at the end of the bleachers. Mind you, it was wet, y'all. It was wet. He fell at the end. He got up so quick and he ran straight to the coach. I heard an interview of Karmelo's parents stating that Karmelo had an injury on his hand. Also, I guess from the little utility tool or whatever, his hand was cut. His hand was cut. That right there told me, logically thinking, that typically when somebody pokes another person intentionally, they not gonna cut themselves in the process. That's indicative, in my opinion, of it being accidental, of Austin falling on Karmelo, and because of the pressure, that's what caused those major damages to Austin, plus Karmelo's hand being cut in the process, right? Because this is a utility tool. Just think about it. Think about it logically, y'all. Like, it makes sense what they saying when they said it wasn't intentional, it was accidental. But Karmelo was so scared, he grabbed the first thing he could grab. You being confronted and wailed on by multiple boys, two being at least 80 pounds bigger than you. Knowing jujitsu, we can't leave that out, because I heard they try to downplay that as well in court, and clearly it worked, because they convicted this boy of murder. Like, this whole situation is crazy. Thank you, Miss Hill. Thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for the fireworks. Thank y'all for the engagement. I appreciate all of you guys. Please hit the like button. All right, let's get back into it. Oh, and that's another thing, y'all. The parents, Karmelo Anthony's parents, once Karmelo ran to the coach that was on the field, he was all hysterical, crying and hugging the coach because of what had just transpired. That's not the mind frame of a premeditated murderer. He was crying, and his dad said it's because Karmelo is not that type of person. He was hysterically crying, and you can see in the video him hugging the coach because of what had just happened. Like, it was just, when something happened accidentally and it's major, that's why he was so hysterical. It wasn't until he didn't run away to leave what had just happened. He ran to go get help, because they tried to portray that Karmelo was trying to leave the scene. No, he went to go get help. All right.
If him and Austin is in a fight and he stuck him, what are you chasing him for? You need to get him help. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when
because
they I knew that they all jumped him.
Yeah, because they didn't know that they didn't know he got poked yet. They didn't know that he was stabbed, because they all, including Austin, tried to chase him when they realized, because he got away and they were still fighting. Austin was at the bottom because he had Karmelo in a chokehold. So he just figured that he was loose, so they still hidden. And then all of a sudden, that's when he fell. When he ran away and fell, they heard that fall, and that's when they all looked and like, oh, he getting away. And they all went to chase him. Austin tried, but he realized he was hurt. And so when all that happened, everybody know that they heard Jeff Metcalf and Hunter. Hunter said that he went and gave him aid. He held on to him and kept pressure on his wound and all that. That's a lie. Hunter never got close enough to him. He turned around, whipped his head around. He went to step forward. By that time, the other coaches were coming because Karmelo already told them what was going on. And so they were coming, and the coaches came. One coach held Hunter. He was screaming. That is true. He was screaming for real. And so since he was screaming, he never, ever got to his brother. Never. And so it's a moment to where if we just go at face value at what we knew before we got to trial, they're saying that Karmelo told them that he shouldn't have put his hands on me. I did it in self-defense. By Frisco PD's own policy, once a suspect has asserted self-defense, they have to arrest everybody, take everybody down for questioning, take their statements, send all the evidence and the statements to the DA's office, and they send it to the grand jury, and you let the grand jury make the decision who's at fault. They never did that. If I tell you
and that's how we know it was pre-orchestrated from the very beginning, y'all, because just like Dwayne said, once a suspect lets whoever know, the police, i.e., that it's self-defense, they supposed to take all statements and let it be known and send it to the grand jury to decide. They didn't do that. They was even downplaying, and from my understanding from multiple people that was in court, they didn't even try to, they kept downplaying the defense, stating that it was self-defense. Whenever it's a self-defense case, they move a certain way in court, right? Witnesses and statements and all of that, they move a certain way. It's certain experts, like they have all kind of different things going on. But clearly they wasn't trying to go in that direction because of the outcome. Like this whole situation is crazy. Shout out to Freezy in the building. Shout out to you, bro. I'm pretty sure you're gonna go live later. I'm gonna check you out, y'all. This is the guy that I was telling y'all about that's been doing major things with this case. Make sure y'all go check out his channel. It is No Captivity with Freezy. I'm gonna be in the building as well if he go live later on. Shout out to you again for coming through. Y'all, when I had my head down and whenever Lakeisha's $100 firework popped up, I was like, oh, what happened to the screen? I thought something happened to my screen. That big old red banner just popped up. All right, let's go, y'all.
They had Karmelo already booked and charged with the murder of Austin Metcalf before Austin Metcalf was even pronounced dead at 10:53 a.m. because they already knew what they wanted. Because when all those officers got to Kirkendall Stadium, they saw their friend's son laying there in this situation. And as the paramedic said, he was purple, and they had to administer blood to him, and then he perked back up. His color came back. They put him inside of the ambulance, and they were basically working on him as he had a heart condition, not that he was losing blood. And so that's why it was a pause. That's why they took him to the Plano Hospital instead of the hospital right by Kirkendall Stadium, because there was no rush. They didn't think they were going to lose him because it wasn't anything grave for the puncture that they had. It's not even that much blood on the scene in any pictures and photos that we've seen. So we know that.
Y'all heard what he just said? He said that's why they didn't rush to get him to the hospital, because it wasn't even that much ketchup. Y'all know what that means, that he actually had. But if y'all remember, when Hunter did one of those interviews, he basically stated that it was so much ketchup and he was holding the wound. But according to Dwayne, it wasn't none of that. That's why they didn't rush the situation. If y'all notice, the mom in that interview, was also stated that the mom didn't even go straight to the stadium or whatever, to the school. She went straight to the hospital. She was waiting on them at the hospital. She made it there at the hospital, and he gonna go into that also. So what he's saying makes a lot of sense, y'all. It's making a whole lot of sense because it's lining up with the facts of this situation. But they didn't think that Austin was going to perish. They didn't think that because it didn't seem like a significant injury just from the looks of it, also from, I guess, the size of the utility tool and all of that. But they made it more than what it was for, I guess, the dramatic effects, the wow factor, to put that stank on it, since they was charging Karmelo with murder. It's just, child, this is crazy. This definitely can be turned into a movie, and I'm pretty sure somebody gonna capitalize later on. They're already saying the judge trying to write a book, child.
This is a moment that it was a setup to protect the friends.
Let's go back a little bit, because I want y'all to catch this.
Never did that. If I tell you they had Karmelo already booked and charged with the murder of Austin Metcalf before Austin Metcalf was even pronounced dead at 10:53 a.m.
Wow.
Because they already knew what they wanted. Because when all those officers got to Kirkendall Stadium, they saw their friend's son laying there in this situation. And as the paramedic said, he was purple, and they had to administer blood to him, and then he perked back up. His color came back. They put him inside of the ambulance, and they were basically working on him as he had a heart condition, not that he was losing blood.
Wow.
And so that's why it was a pause. That's why they took him to the Plano Hospital instead of the hospital right by Kirkendall Stadium, because there was no rush. They didn't think they were going to lose him because it wasn't anything grave for the puncture that they had.
And that's how you know the defense dropped the ball again. because a real defense, a big dog defense attorney, baby, we subpoenaing the ambulance drivers also. The ones who worked on Austin, yeah, let me get that up out you. Come get up on that stand. Because we need them to talk as well. Just like Dwayne said, they didn't go to the closest hospital. They went to one further away because they didn't even feel like he had sustained that serious of injuries to go to a specific hospital. So we need them ambulam, like y'all know how they say it, ambulam. We need them on the stand also. We need them to speak up also and see and tell what happened, what they witnessed, because they was around too. That's how you know that defense dropped the ball intentionally.
It's not even that much blood on the scene in any pictures and photos that we've seen. So we know that this is a moment that it was a setup to protect the friends. And I think it became a moment of revenge for the Metcalfs because that was their favorite child. And the way that Jeff Metcalf looked at his son that day, the next day he did the interview on one of the news stations, and the guy said, "Hey, there's Hunter right now. You want to talk to him?" Jeff, his looks could have taken Hunter out that day. And he said, "No, I don't want to talk to him." And he sat there staring at him. And you can hear the car alarm on the truck. And you can hear the door closed. You can hear the truck start. And Jeff didn't say a word. He was just looking at Hunter like, "You should have been the one." And then all of a sudden he snapped out of it and he started talking.
That's you know what you said something. When I was watching the video of the mom and she said, Hunter called me and said that he had been stabbed, right? Do you know what the mother said? She said when she went to the hospital, so instead of her coming to where they were, she went to the hospital. Do you know what that lady said? He still hadn't made it to the hospital. So I'm sitting there like, what if they let the boy body just lay there?
Yeah,
you know So when you say they didn't think he was going to die, I can relate to that because the mother, I would have to go back and watch the video, but it had been 20, 30 minutes. I don't remember the exact time frame that she said, but she said that when he told her that he had, been stabbed and she knew what hospital, she went to the hospital. She had got to the hospital. They were not even there. So I'm like, what if people just stay there with the boy's body? Maybe if you would have rushed him to the hospital. So when you say they didn't think that he was going to pass away, I believe it, because when I was listening to her, I said, so you mean to tell me you went to the hospital and they hadn't even came there yet?
Yeah, because they brought him to the hospital. They didn't code Thre or nothing like that. They took him. And when he got there, he was alive. When they took him into the room, he was there. He coded after he got to the hospital and they worked on him. And that's when the doctor came and he actually called him at 10:53 a.m. The thing about Megan Metcalf, she stated that she was coming from Grapevine, Texas, and anybody in the DFW area know good and well you're not going to get from Grapevine, Texas in the thick of the rush hour traffic in a storm and make it to Plano in less than 30 minutes. It ain't about to happen. And so the problem with that story is that I know that the Metcalfs both have been called already to the scene because the twins had already been caught messing with other people. I'll put it that way. And so they were already there. And I'll tell you they were already there because we'll go to Hunter's own words. Hunter said that his dad, Jeff Metcalf said that he was called by the coach of the middle school. He was called by the coach of the middle school to come to the school. The coach of the middle school wouldn't even known what was going on because they're teachers. And that was 9 in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. He's got class. However, Hunter said that they were actually at the middle school, is what he said. We know that he did not go into middle school because they were never signed in because we got the actual logs of all the people who signed in that day. Damn. And it wasn't Hunter and them. And so with that being stated, his parents were called toward the school to talk to Hunter and Austin about actually bullying a young lady that went to Emerson. And that's the reason why, if you guys ever had a chance to hear the 911 calls or the dispatch calls from that day, you would hear the actual dispatcher and you would hear the police saying that, hey, we're looking for the suspect from Emerson. We have the suspect from Emerson. And they kept saying that because earlier the situation is that Austin and Hunter and their friends were bullying this one girl. She was the only girl there from Emerson for the track meet. And other kids made them leave them alone. So they went to the middle school because that's the coach that used to be there. He called Jeff. Megan came there, and they were all there because I'm going to tell you the reason why we know. Hunter stated in his own statement on TV that he called his phone and his mom answered, and he told his mom what happened at the stadium. And his mom said she turned around and went straight to the hospital. That's how she beat the ambulance, because she was on her way from the middle school, going on her way to work out there to the spot where the pizzeria is at, and on Grapevine, and she turned around and she beat them to the hospital.
Y'all, that is crazy. See how detailed Dwayne is and all of the stuff he know. That's how y'all know, baby. They clocking it behind the scenes. From call logs, they got all of the tea, all of the details surrounding this situation. That's why they don't want this man talking right here. That's why they don't want this man talking for real. Because he knows too much. He didn't clock him, not just him, but it's a team of people clocking these details that's digging deep as far as call logs, 911 calls, all of that. Surveillance footage, baby, they clocking it. He even knew that the parents, Jeff and Megan, was already there from the twins bullying one little girl from Emerson Middle School that was at the track meet. The parents allegedly lied and said that they was on their way from somewhere else. That's because they didn't want the people to know that they was already in the vicinity because of those twins bullying, because that's not the narrative that they want out there. Notice anytime the parents speak, it's, they're upstanding kids, great potential, GPAs, football stars and potential for college football and all of that. Nobody talking about how they was wreaking havoc around the area. It was one lady even stated, and this is alleged because I wasn't there, so I'm going to say allegedly, on TikTok, how she had to remove her child from the school because he was so bullied so bad by them twins. She had to completely remove him from the school. This is crazy. Not to mention the cheerleader, that email that they got from the cheerleader, sending it to the coaches and the staff about the twins and how they act and disrespect, and how Hunter was saying, allegedly stated, that my hand's bisexual, meaning that he'll whoop up on a woman or a man. And it ain't hard to believe if it's allegations out there about the reason behind Jeff and Megan being divorced is from him putting his hands on her, allegedly. And then Austin having to dislocate his daddy's shoulder behind all of that. This is crazy. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Hey to everybody that's coming in, please hit that like button if y'all don't mind.
That's how that happened. Yeah. Okay. And so these are things that we know from advocating, investigating.
I know you're not lying about that, because when she said that, I said, damn. So they just done left the boy there for hours. Like, I'm trying to put it. So it makes sense. You know what that lady said? That lady said she was coming from work. That lady lied.
She did. She lied.
Coming from work. She said, I work out in, is it Grapevine?
Grapevine. Yeah.
That's what she said. And then so she said that knowing that she was already in the area because she had left.
Correct. And Jeff said that he was coming from home because he lives 5 minutes away. No, you were already on the scene. Jeff was actually in there when they were talking to Hunter and the EP dude, and Hunter was too hysterical to give a statement, but the other young man gave his statement. And then later on, after Austin died, they let the family in around 1 to see Austin after he died. By 2:30, 3 o'clock, his mother was in front of her house on WFAA Channel 8 News giving the interview. We know that Hunter went home with Jeff, took a shower, had fresh clothes on, and he came pulling up and he joined the interview. But you were too hysterical just 4 hours ago, to give a statement to the Popo of what happened. And so these are the things that we've been talking about for a year and some change that was just weird in this whole situation. And that's why I knew that he could not go to trial. And I shouted that from the mountaintop. I called everybody I could.
And not just that, y'all. Shout out to Dwayne for what he just said. Notice how people have been playing one of Hunter's interviews that happened literally within 24 hours of the situation, saying, well, that's impossible for them to concoct a story that quickly because of the timing. Dwayne just said Hunter left from the school. Hunter was so hysterical, cutting up, hollering that he couldn't give a statement to the police at the school. But a couple hours later, literally, he left with his daddy from the school, went showered and showered or whatever, went home with his dad, and a couple hours later he pulled up to his mom and gave that interview on the front lawn. Remember, his mama did that interview on the front lawn of her house? Yeah. Make it make sense. That's what Dwayne is saying basically. How was you all is hysterical just a couple hours ago to the point where you couldn't give an interview, couldn't give a statement to the police, but a couple hours later you was perfectly fine enough to give an interview to the news after he had been left with his daddy. So in my opinion, that was more than enough time for his daddy to prep him, to let him know what to say and what not to say. Notice in the interview, and I'm gonna play it in a few. Notice in the interview, Hunter, he said a little bit and he was like, oh, I'm not gonna say the rest of what happened. Da, 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 da. Yeah. He was real careful, even though he still was caught up. This is why when you got an attorney, they advise you to shut the hell up. Don't say shat. But clearly the prosecutor didn't tell, Hunter of them didn't get the memo because he said multiple things on multiple different occasions. He did like 3 interviews, y'all. And each interview was different. They had different things stated, right? So, yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's go.
But everybody was saying that, hey, don't talk to him. You don't need to be dealing with him. But it was something that I knew in my gut that if he went to trial, he was getting 30 years. Judge Roach just added 5 to it because he was the one that did it, because the jury could not figure out what they wanted to do. I think they said they had 3 jurors that wanted to give him the minimum, which is 5 years, and the rest of them wanted to throw the book at him. And so they kept arguing and bickering and all that stuff, and Judge Roach shut everybody up, and he said, I'll do it, and he sentenced them to 35 years.
Now, I have a question, because I remember you did tell me this.
Wow.
You had mentioned that. First of all, when I watched this trial, well, not watched it, but listening to people report on it, I've heard judges say, listen, I'm going to give you 3 weeks. We're going to get this done in 3 weeks. I feel like the judge forced these people to hurry up and make a decision. When you had told me that the jury could not decide on what to give him, I thought that they needed to go back and figure it out. How is it that the judge can just step in and say, wait a minute, I'm going to give them this? I thought that the jury has to make that decision on their own.
They are supposed to, if under several deliberations they can't, then the judge can step in and do that. But you got to think about it. This judge told everybody in the courtroom he wanted this done as quick as possible, and he would go until 10 o'clock at night if he wanted to, if he needed to. When they brought this case to the jury and they said, we're going to deliberate, the judge told the jury, I want this done as quick as possible. So you're telling the jury that you want them to go out there and you want them to do this speedy moment and get it done as quick as possible, because guess what? Judge Roach don't care. He's already announced he's retiring. He's not going to go and do anything else. He's going to be able to write his book from this case and go on and do what him and his wife want to do and got sanctioned before about writing a book about a case. So this is something that, this is something that's normal for these people. And that's why Candace Matthews did what she did when she came. Like, okay, y'all want to play games? Then we're going to show a reason why that you did drop all the charges against all those men with To Catch a Predator back in the day when he was actually DA then. And he dropped all the charges and allowed his friend's family that unalived himself to actually sue those people. And that's why we don't have that show no more. And then we find out that he was one of those people out there messing with the kids. Candace Matthews got all the paperwork. She went and pulled it. And so those are things that we wouldn't be privy to unless you do this kind of stuff. And then people start doing the background check and find out, oh, you've been doing a whole lot of crazy stuff. And we have to understand that it's not that the system is bad. The law can't do nothing to you unless the people who's actually giving you the breakdown of the law say something stupid, because the law is just words. And so our problem in this system is that we've allowed the people with ill will and bad minds to be the ones that's ahead of this moment. We just let a perfect storm. We didn't fight to get this case moved because the lawyer had no intent to do nothing. He never filed any motions. He never contested any rulings. He never did any of that. He barely did any objections during trial.
One thing, Dwayne, before we get into the lawyer now, because you kind of scurried past Judge Roach. Okay, I did some research on him, and they say he was using the courts to sell his books.
Yes.
He got in trouble. So I just wanted to say that because I know you kind of mentioned it, but I just wanted to make sure the audience know that the judge is most definitely corrupt. So when you say he's going to retire and write a book, absolutely he's going to retire and write a book, because when I read that complaint against him, they said he was trying to tell people to purchase his book and don't worry about going to court. Just purchase his book. What kind of judge is that? You went into, you were talking about Mike Howard. Now, oh my gosh. And also too, I want to touch on this because you're right. A lot of people have dragged Dominique, and I was like wondering like what, and I had sent him a message, and I'm glad he didn't read it. I took it back because as I thought about this, he was the only one that was standing there with them. You understand what I'm saying? Now it seems like people are coming back at him. And to be honest, like you said, he seems to be the only one that's still standing there. You understand what I'm saying? People blaming him for an attorney, when at the end of the day, he cannot make a decision on someone's attorney. He also stated that, and then also what people have to understand is people have to make their own decisions, even if he thought, and he stated that at some point he realized that this attorney was a bad choice. But he stated, because I saw the interview that he did, he said the family thought that they had already invested so much, but at the end of the day, he doesn't really want to get himself in a situation where he going against the family. And then we started to see this bullshit with this Charleston White and all this weird stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
That's really not his place to get into it with somebody. All he can do is say, listen, I think, maybe you should, but people were making it seem like it was his fault. But you had already told me that the family had received other people. It was their decision to pick this particular attorney, and that Dominique did not force them to take this attorney. It's something about our people that we, and I was saying this myself, I said, can they focus on him being in jail, prison, and he not supposed to be? Because putting a post about Dominique ain't gonna get him out. That's not going to do anything. So when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I believe him, because one thing people gonna do, if you ever been to jail, oh, you did this, so what? Like, who cares? None of that matters right now. So
you're right
when you were saying that, because I mean, he has been one of the ones that's been standing there, even if people had said, well, they said that the family had fired him. Okay, but even in that situation, he still didn't come out on social media and talking about these folks like these crazy, you see these Charleston Whites and these weirdos. That's not necessary. A person can tell you, I want you to step away. I don't need you to do that anymore. That don't mean that I don't like you. And one of the things he said, these people are always going to be my family. So I like him. Like, I don't care what the people say. I like Dominique.
Most definitely. And for people dragging him, you're only hindering him from doing the work that he knows how to do to try to help Karmelo get out of this situation. And, he's been very upfront, very honest. If he feels that he did some stuff wrong, he'll be the first one to tell you. And I think people have to understand that. And we can't always be ready to cut the feet from under our people that have stood strong. And we've had some people that done some wrong stuff, yes. And you'll see me call them out because that's what I'm on a mission to do right now. But I can tell you from what I know about Dominique and what I've seen his work and knowing what position he's in, he didn't have that say so. He can only recommend. And so that was not his moment. And so he's been an upstanding guy, and people just need to leave him alone because he's done everything right that he needs to. And if there's something in between, that's in between him and the Anthonys to deal with and figure out, you know. So that's my stance on that. On Mike Howard, my thing with him, I read up on him when they first said that he was the one that they chose, because I was confused because I knew they had Clark and Cole. And so I went and looked it up. People were saying he was excellent, but his record really wasn't to the point past what I seen with them. And so I started looking, and I found a video of his that he had, and it was on his video. He basically said he was coming out of the courtroom, and he said, if your attorney does not get your case dismissed before trial, then you need to find another attorney and fire that one. That was his words. And so I always told people that, hey, in this instance, he hadn't filed no motions to quash the indictment, hadn't filed no motions to challenge anything. He hadn't filed no motions to dismiss based on nothing. And I'm like, that is not normal for an attorney when they have a case like this that's full of holes. They are fighting this case and litigating this case before you even think about the indictment even coming. And this man chose to just sit back and watch. So I knew at that point, and along with some other stuff that I can't disclose right now, that he wasn't.
Don't tell them, don't. I said they watch and don't tell them.
Yeah, they are.
I'm gonna text you about that. I'm not gonna say on this video. I'll text you about it. But yeah, go ahead.
Most definitely. And so it's. I knew then, and again, that was in that August moment. So September, I was fully persuaded. I'm going to use some of those biblical terms like Paul. I was fully persuaded that Mike Howard wasn't the one for this family and wasn't the one for Karmelo. So at that point, I started screaming it in our Zoom calls. I started texting, and we started having group messages and chats. I started reaching out to the family. I'm going to tell you, I did everything that I knew to do. Even on my lives, I put my number out on the live on TikTok to make sure that the family knew to call me, because we need to talk before this baby goes to this court, because he don't need to go. And it just never, everyone kept that fortress up of keeping the family away from people like myself and others that was trying to get them to get away. We were even to the point to where we would put the motions together, and we just need to go hire an attorney to go argue for us. And we had some folks in play, but we never could get that done because, like Andrew Anthony said that it was people telling him, no, don't talk to that person. No, don't talk to that person. And when he was thinking about it, like he said, he wished he would have just went ahead and went rogue and called us and reached out because.
And let me say this, y'all. The defense attorney's name is Mike Howard. I think I was calling him Mark. It's Mike Howard, not Mark. Okay. I think I said Mark early on in the live stream, but it's actually Mike Howard. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. All right. Let's go a little more.
That was the sentiment of people that knew him. Like normally, bro, he would have reached out to you because he would have wanted to know what's going on. But I knew that people had a stronghold. And that's what the Bible talks about when it talks about strongholds. It's just not what we think about the devil or somebody, but people can have strongholds on you mentally, physically, spiritually. And that's what they had on the Anthonys. And so they could not come out of that circle to get the help that they needed. And that's why we are where we are. So now we all have to pivot and help Karmelo to get from where he's at.
And you know what? Here's the deal. People fail to realize these people's son is in jail for 35 years.
Correct.
That's like almost a death. Like your child is in a facility that you don't know what can happen. People seem to not get it. If something happened to my child like that, them folks would have to give me some kind of medication to calm down. Like, that is a lot. So for people calling these people weak and saying all of this, I wouldn't know if I was going or coming. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Correct.
Or whatever they doing, my hat goes out to them because that is a lot to deal with. You know what I mean?
It is.
Well, at least he can go see him. Listen, whenever you get in jail, you don't know if you're gonna wake up tomorrow. So please stop
Correct.
saying that. Please stop saying that. So when people say, oh, the well, I shouldn't say people say, it was just one idiot, but saying that the father is weak, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what really are we doing?
I think people don't understand that he has a 35-year sentence. And TDCJ in Texas, that's Texas Department of Criminal Justice, when you have a crime which they think that they feel is aggravated, and murder is aggravated, you have to do half. That means he had to do 17 and a half years before he's eligible for parole to leave. And so people don't get that. His family is dealing with that moment. Then when we have to remember, in the history of TDCJ, and I'm gonna have to go and refine this in my mind, but I don't remember it in my 53 years of living, there has never been an inmate that gets sentenced and in less than 24 hours, they are actually in the TDCJ system. It normally takes at the minimum 2.5 weeks for you to catch the chain to go to TDCJ. Sometimes it take up to 60 days or a year, depending on how busy they are. And so for him, less than 24 hours after being sentenced, that man was on the chain to go to TDCJ. And I'm going to tell you what happened. I will say this, is that we were paying attention, myself and others, just watching, putting money on his books in the county, making sure he had money. So when he do go, he's able to have money that follows him, because we didn't know what the status of his family's finances would be. Because we knew that as soon as he was convicted, they would take the gifts and go away from them, because that's part of their policy. They take it down and they send all the money to your attorney of record. You don't get the money anymore. And so we knew that. So we started doing that moment, but it was just something in me saying the check all the time. So I was checking every 10 minutes to 30 minutes, just making sure he was still okay, checking to see how people were giving, all those different things. And when I checked, I think it may have been later on that morning, I was checking to see, because someone said they tried to give and it said it was capped for the day. And I was like, well, I think it's $300 or $500. Let me go check. And when I went to go check, he was no longer in the system. He was no longer in the system on commissary, but he was still in the system on the system in his cell, which was infirmary 10. So I was like, well, maybe they have a problem with the system. So I checked back 5 minutes later, and it still showed he was not in the commissary system. So I made a phone call. Somebody else called me right when I was making the phone call saying, hey, bro, he's being transferred. And I was like, transferred? Yeah, he's on the bus going to Bird Unit. And when we checked out Bird Unit, the warden, his name was Talon Metcalf is his name. And so we were like, oh, no, that ain't happening. So I got on the phone, called a few people, and we started our moment of trying to get him diverted, because that was a no-no. I got on the phone to Dominique Alexander, since people want to talk bad about him. Let's talk about what he was doing. He was minding his own business and talking to other people. Go ahead, sis.
No, I want to stop you right there, because see, I put pieces of stories together. I heard what you said, and I listened with what Dominique said. So what you said was just that was what he said, because you told me that you got on the phone and they called was it the senators or whoever you called, but he said he got on a call the same thing you said, and that's how connection to know that Dominique was one of the ones that you talked to make sure that baby did not go to that prison that had that warden that had the last name Metcalf, because originally it looks like they were trying to send him to a prison where the warden, and I looked that man up, he shows to be Metcalf's brother is what it shows up. They said that that's his brother. So it looks like he was en route to go to that prison, and somehow you, along with Dominique and some others, made sure that didn't happen.
Correct. And Dominique was actually at the courthouse.
And listen, y'all, if y'all remember when Jeff did that 3-hour rant interview, remember when he spoke on Karmelo's first night in jail, and he was so adamant about, what Karmelo was going to experience? That's probably why. But they intercepted it, and they said he was pissed off because he allegedly wanted Karmelo in that jail where his brother or cousin, whoever Talon Metcalf is, the supervisor warden. Okay, they say he was pissed off, but that's why he was so adamant about Karmelo being sent to that prison. But they intercepted that real quick. real quick, baby.
And he was doing some stuff at the courthouse that day. And so when after I got the other calls, we basically touched people from the feds all the way down. I called Dominique. He answered the phone just like that. And I explained to him, hey, this is Dwayne. You know, I advocated for Karmelo. This is what's going on. And he immediately got on the phone, contacted the senator. And in between all of that action, because actually the go to where he's at is on the route on the Bluebird or on the chain to go to Bird. And so they diverted him to that unit where he's at right today. And so, and I'm going to tell you this much because I did confirm this with some people. There was a hit out on him. So when he got there to Bird unit, he was not supposed to be no more. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I know that is because if you listen to Jeff Metcalf when he was doing his interview that same day, around that same time, he said there's street justice, there's some other kind of justice. He said there's karma justice. And then what he said is that there's other justice and it's coming up soon. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that moment of that street justice and maybe y'all will see it. He said that. That was during the time that Karmelo was en route.
Sure did.
So that let you know. And then I have it on good authority. Once he found out he didn't make it, because they were looking for him when that bus came and Karmelo didn't step off of it. So when he got word that they did not get him, they said Jeff was mad. He was mad for a couple of days because they thought this was going to end for them because their ultimate thing is to get rid of Karmelo and for him not to be around no more. But that's what their ultimate moment was.
I want to say this, though. Here's the deal. People should be careful when they try to do that because it tends to flip back on you. See, you taught your sons to be nasty, and you probably taught him to be a tad bit racist, and now he ain't here no more. You have one. Love him and keep him, because the hole that you dig for people generally is the one that you're going to fall in. And I know what you said ain't a lie, because what I've been told is right now they've been keeping him safe. They're not keeping him safe if it wasn't something that was trying to make him unsafe. So
correct.
I know that to be true.
Correct. And what they meant for evil, it's been turned around for good. And I'm just going to tell you that. And just like they publicly talked about what they trying to do, and folks had to tell them from within the walls of TDCJ that they going to go down like that. I'm going to tell you, as a person that have been to TDCJ, been to the feds and all of that, both sides, me doing time and also going there helping people and doing the things that we have to do to help our inmates and people who are incarcerated. I'm going to tell you this. There will be no harm come to Karmelo because people just not going they're not going to stand for it. And I'm talking about from staff, from inmates to whoever. And so he's in good hands until his appeal comes through and he can come on home, because they will overturn this on appeal. He will be okay. And this is we have to know that one thing. The scriptures say all things work together for the good of them. And we have to understand that sometimes these bad things happen to us to where
I've heard that too, y'all. Word on the curb is they not letting no harm come to that baby while he's behind bars. That been floating around all up and through these streets. They not playing. They ready for all right out war behind Karmelo, and rightfully so, because he shouldn't be in there. Period. At this point, at first people was trying to decipher if it would. For one, we know it's too much. Like 35 years is entirely too much. But now at this point, the way he was done, how the situation was rigged, it is definitely giving self-defense with everything. I feel like he should have been acquitted. That's my personal belief. After everything I've seen, all of the evidence, all of the witnesses coming out, I even seen a video of a juror, y'all, that was crying. And he spoke on that a little bit too, saying how they couldn't even decide. They had 3 jurors that was crying behind the scenes because they wanted to give Karmelo the minimum. But the judge was like, well, y'all can't do it, allegedly, then I'm going to do it. And ended up giving them 35 years. This situation is crazy. It is crazy. Thank y'all for all the gifts. Thank y'all for the fireworks. I see y'all cutting up in the chat. I appreciate y'all for trying to clear out my gift goal. I love y'all down. Let's go a little bit more, y'all. I don't want to play her video in its entirety because I want to play Hunter Metcalf also. I want to play a little bit of him too before we get off of here.
We can learn and be a testament for others. And there's great things on Karmelo. There's great things that he has in his life, but there's also good gifts and great things that they seen that they were trying to snuff out. And the one thing we know that they can't. And because his work that he set up to do, this is part of that testimony. This is part of that moment. And we're going to accept that, but we're going to do our part to protect them in that. And if it takes me having to have a little discomfort for the past year and some change, then that's what that is. Because I would want somebody to do the same thing for my grandkids. I want somebody to do the same thing for my great nieces and nephews. I would want them to do the same for just my neighbors' kids. And so we have to step up sometime and be that catalyst, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it hurts, because it's been painful, but it's worth it to see that young man and know that he's okay.
Now, one other thing, because I know you got to get going. One of the things you said is, and you didn't like say it like this, but I noticed what you meant. They was jealous of him, and I hate using that word jealous.
Yes.
But they were jealous of him. I don't remember if it was you or somebody else. It may have been you. What was said to him in court during the, after you are found guilty, they get the alleged victims. I'm calling them alleged victims. I don't believe that they are victims. They're victims of what their son did. Now,
correct.
Were you told something about, because I was told that after they gave their victim impact statement. I was told that they pretty much got up on the stand, was cursing, telling him, "Look at me, boy," and just all of this kind of stuff. And when I heard that, I'm telling you, I ain't really slept good since this happened. I was so angry because it just leads you to believe the judge had to be in on this. What court can you go in and go on the stand and start cussing? Where?
Yeah. Nowhere. And they berated him. I was told by someone that was in there that it was so much until Karmelo was sitting there and he said, just imagine a wet puppy dog that just got beat by their owner, left out in the cold in the middle of the street. They said that's how he was looking because he had his head down, he was shaking, and it was just a beratement of him. They were calling him, like you said, boy, calling him all kind of things. Dude said they were calling him stuff he can't repeat. And so it was just a beratement of Karmelo Anthony in that courtroom after, because it was all about tearing down this young man that they were jealous of. And I'm telling you, they were jealous because all of the kids that were involved, one of the kids that were involved wasn't even there. I think he was suspended, so he couldn't be there. We have to remember that Hunter and Austin was suspended as well. We know that Austin and Hunter wasn't even part of the team no more because the coach testified that he kicked them off the team because they chose to go hunting or go fishing instead of coming to a meet. So we knew that. So they wasn't even supposed to be there. But they were also jealous of this young man because of his family status and how he was raised. He was working. People forget he worked at Foot Locker. He had another job. He had just got hired at HEB. So this young man was following his father's footsteps of providing and working while I'm doing school, while I'm doing all those things. He also had many of offers to football and track. So he was on his way to do things right. But he was also a ladies' man.
Y'all, they said Karmelo had like 20 scholarships. Like 20 scholarships, y'all. This is sad, bruh. Because it's like when they say modern day lynching, it is definitely given that. Like we see a young black boy that's set to do great things, and let's railroad him. Let's set him up for this situation. Because mind you, in court, it was testified that Karmelo was at the same track event a week prior under the same tent around the same people, with the exception of the twins. They weren't there. They were on suspension and there was no incident. No incident. So that's what makes it even more so sad because it's like, damn, bro. This is why so many people advocating for Karmelo and fighting for Karmelo because it's like y'all can't have this one, baby. Y'all not this one. Y'all can't have this one. Go get one of them that. Listen, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's out in them streets, in them gangs, and blase blase. This one y'all cannot have, and we standing on it. Period.
He was friendly. Everybody liked him. And so that was the thing that people did not like about him. So EP and all these kids were jealous of him. The Metcalf twins, they just don't like nobody. They just love the bully. And so if it was an opportunity to bully, they were down for it. And so it was a perfect storm of idiotic people to come up to Karmelo, who said in his own mind and spirit, I'm going to get back home at all costs. And that's what all of our kids should be thinking, that regardless of what the situation is, my mama sent me out, my daddy sent me out, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get back home, and we'll deal with the rest later on. And that's what Karmelo did. And so we just have to stand up and step up for him, because right now that nobody else is stepping up for him but his family and a few of us that are on here, that are around. And I love, people keep saying that people are coming on the tail end. I think that everybody has their purpose. The ambulance chasers, as they call them, all of them have their purpose. We wouldn't know about Judge Roach unless Candace Matthews come later and tell us what she said. And so we have to let everybody do their part and be who they are. Charleston White, he went rogue. Guess what they're doing to him right now in Fort Worth? They are actually protesting him at the hotel he stayed at. So guess what? You got to let somebody, look, hold your peace and let the Lord fight your battle. Victory will be yours. And that goes as well for people, because if you hold your peace, somebody else going to fight your battle. Exactly. And that's what's happening right now for the Anthonys. They have people they don't even know fighting against Charleston right now because he berated them. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we have to do, is concentrate on Karmelo, making sure he's at peace, making sure he has the things he needs, making sure that whoever this appellant attorney is going to be, if not, we need to get somebody to step up and get with the family so they can go in there and case overturned so he can get back home and he can learn from this experience and he can become that lawyer that he wants to be.
Yep. All right, y'all. So I'm going to stop it right there because, like I said, I don't want to play her live stream in its entirety. I just wanted to play the biggest of the interview. If anybody wants to see the whole live stream in its entirety and the remainder, there's like 20 minutes left. You can go to Keisha's YouTube channel. She has been doing full coverage of this Karmelo Anthony / Austin Metcalf situation as well. And she gives really good commentary also. She did a good live stream earlier. I gotta finish watching it, matter of fact, on Judge Roach and his father and some things that was leaked out about Judge Roach's lineage, let's say that. So I gotta finish watching that one. But y'all definitely go check it out in its entirety. I want to show y'all now. We're finna get into the interviews that Hunter did, given multiple different statements. Okay, we're gonna play a little. We're gonna go on down to Instagram lane. And thank y'all for all the support. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all in the chat, baby. Shout out to the Fox Squad for holding it down for your girl. If you don't know, now you know. All right, let me see. Let's share. Let me pull it up, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me, please and thank you. Let's see. Why is that? Oh, there you go. Okay. All right, it's a lot, as y'all can see. Thank you, Tennessee. Thank you for that orange firework. Hey, Pac Boo, showing you some love. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for that firework. Hey, I gotta upload my song so y'all can hear it. I have it for our live stream that we doing later on, because I will be going live again later. Okay. All right. Let me see which one I want to play. Let's try. Okay, this one says pay attention. It was another one. Where is it? Let's try this one. Why it ain't playing? Hold on, y'all. We ain't got no sound. What the hell? What? Oh, here. Oh, Lord. Okay, let me go back. Okay.
I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, like between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the artwork together, sports. You name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically, you're bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what it is. So it's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was...
Let me say this. Y'all pay attention to what Hunter finna say. Now, mind you, like I said before, Hunter didn't testify. Matter of fact, for the trial, he didn't show up until the victim statements. If you're familiar, then you know the victim statements are done towards the end of the trial. It's basically victims, like people that are on the side of the deceased. They get on the stand and they give statements towards the defendant or towards the accused. And that's when Hunter showed up. That's when he got on the stand to talk shit to Karmelo, right? But he didn't show up no other part of the trial because prosecution was trying to keep him away from that stand, baby. Okay? But I also heard, let me say this, shout out to Mel over there watching the world 777. He has a major channel. He shows up to all trials, not just this one. He was there for Diddy, Epstein, all of them, y'all. And he said, and he was there for the entirety of this trial. He said that it's a very, very good, he didn't use the word good. He said, I think he said valid reason why Hunter nor Karmelo got on the stand. He said it should come out during the appeals process. So I don't know what that means, but that's what Mel said. They stated in court why Karmelo nor Hunter took the stand. And he said it should come out during the appeals process. So we'll see, y'all. We shall see. Thank you, Miss Hill. Thank you so much for this. Thank you, my love. Thank you for the support. All right, let's play some of it.
Sitting under our tent at track, we asked him to move. He started getting aggressive.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Notice how Hunter is stating how he's using the words like we asked him, meaning Karmelo, we meaning him and his twin Austin, we asked him to move and get from under our tent. But in court, it was testified by all of those coerced and manipulated witnesses that Hunter had no involvement, that he wasn't even there. That's how we know that's a lie. This is a clear deception right here. But yeah, he's stating how it went down from his words. Oh, hold on.
Aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So yeah. Just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone. He's had a really great year.
It was senseless.
Everyone on the team, coaches, everyone knew around the area just knew he.
Okay, this is interview number 2, y'all. Notice the first one was in the front yard. This one is actually on whatever news station that is. He about to give a different account, okay? We might have to run it back, but he about to give another account of what happened. All right. Oh, why I keep pressing it?
He's about to do big things in football.
Again, both of us, and we'll see how far we get. When I read your story last night, obviously this is not about me. I have a 17-year-old son. I live 20 miles south of you. My son's in Frisco every night playing soccer, and we have a lot of friends of friends who knew Austin. So the circles got tight, and this hit really close to home. And I'm just so sorry for you. Can you explain us at all today how you feel? It's just got to be so. The word I keep coming. happened at that track meet. How could this thing that seems like is not on the menu of possibilities could happen? Again, I was at a track meet, by the way, on Tuesday. This is not something you think could ever happen. How did it happen?
So it was a really bad storm in the morning, and they had a lot of delays. And me, my brother, a couple of kids were walking back from the field house of the middle school because we attended that middle school when we went to middle school. And we were saying hello to old coaches and catching up with them. And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there. Were not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always is with just brothers. Just
now, tell me how that make any sense, y'all. Okay, think about what he said in the first one though. But notice how he said him and his brother, they was walking back to the tent. It started raining or whatever, so they went under the tent or whatever. But it was testified by Eddie that Eddie called Karmelo over because Karmelo was headed to go stretch for the track event, and it started raining. So Eddie said, "Hey, Karmelo, blase, blase," and then called him over, and that's when Karmelo went under the canopy, dapping it up, shooting the ish with Eddie. Why would Karmelo, if he was invited over, why would he just start talking ish to Hunter under the canopy? He said Karmelo was sitting behind him, and Karmelo just started saying inappropriate stuff to him. That don't even make sense. That makes zero sense. If he don't know you, like that don't even sound right. Nobody is just gonna start saying inappropriate things to a person for no reason. What makes sense is them testifying, saying how Eddie called Karmelo over and dapped him up, and they was talking, laughing, shooting the ish, and then somebody alerted the was under the tent, and he was from a rivalry school, and they went over and started messing with Karmelo, telling him to leave. That's what makes more sense. That makes completely more sense, okay? Like, come on now. Who in their right mind, especially Karmelo was like 80-something pounds smaller than both of the twins. They was 200-something pounds apiece. Why the hell would he start talking shit to them, knowing he's outnumbered? He don't even go to that school. That don't even sound right. All right, let's keep going.
Top of my back, and things started getting more like higher intensity, and the kid said some like aggressive stuff, like reckless stuff, and also try to handle the problem. And
Austin was always one to step up.
The kid said some aggressive stuff, some reckless stuff, and then Austin tried to handle the problem. So they try to put it like Karmelo went under there talking ish to Hunter, and Austin stepped in because he always got my back. And look, the mom about to say, Austin was known for doing the right thing. To remove Karmelo from under the tent. Oh, child, listen.
He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing, and he was doing this stuff.
Yeah. That he forgave this other young man. That he forgave.
Okay, we're going to run it one more time so y'all can hear the difference in the testimonies, okay?
I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, like between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do yard work together, sports. You name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically, you're bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. There's a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what it is. So
even if I'm in the wrong, see how the power of the tongue. Pay attention to the power of the tongue, y'all. Y'all know I spoke about the power of the tongue on my community wall a couple of days ago. even if I'm in the wrong, Austin got my back. He'll step in. Like the one thing about God, baby, he'll make you speak it. The truth gonna come out unintentionally when it's dealing with the power of the tongue.
It's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side, no matter what, just pass away like that.
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I try to help him, but
It was just senseless.
it was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone. He's had a really great year, and everyone on the team, coaches, everyone knew around the area just knew he was about to do big things in football.
Again, both of us, and we'll see how far we get. When I read your story last night, obviously this is not about me. I have a 17-year-old son. I live 20 miles south of you. My son's in Frisco every night playing soccer, and we have a lot of friends who knew Austin. So the circles got tight, and this hit really close to home. And I'm just so sorry for you. Can you explain us at all today how you feel? It's just got to be so. The word I keep coming happened at that track meet. How could this thing that seems like is not on the menu of possibilities could happen? Again, I was at a track meet, by the way, on Tuesday. This is not something you think could ever happen. How did it happen?
So it was a really bad storm in the morning, and they had a lot of delays. And me, my brother, a couple of kids were walking back from the field house of the middle school because we attended that middle school when we went to middle school, and we were saying hello to old coaches and catching up with them. And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there were not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always is with his brothers, just having my back. And things started getting more higher intensity. And the kid said some aggressive stuff, reckless stuff. And also try to handle the problem.
Austin was always one to step up. He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing this stuff.
Yeah. That he forgave this other young man. That he forgave.
Child, I am just, wow. 1 minute it was, Karmelo was just randomly behind him saying inappropriate things and just going off like that. Don't even. Oh, child, this how you know the defense intentionally dropped the ball. Because it's one thing to drop the ball, and it's another thing to intentionally drop the ball. Make it make sense. Oh, my brother stepped in to handle things because he just always be having my back. Notice how he was very careful with telling that story to make it seem like it was a one-on-one random type of situation and not 2-on-1. In one instance, it was, back and forth with them. And in the other instances, it was him and Austin. We both, one, he was talking to him at first. And then in the other instance, it was both of them. We asked him to leave. Ciao, bye. All right. Let me see what else they got on here. Let's see what they got right here.
This kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at I look at my brother, and then I'm not gonna talk about the rest. So
Damn, I missed that
that's
part.
just what I saw. And
Hold on, y'all.
I try to.
Let me clear it because I want to hear what he said about the backpack. Hold on 1 second.
This kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack.
That's it. Why would he grab his backpack? He said, "Oh, this kid, I don't know. I didn't know his name at the time, but he started getting aggressive, and then Austin grabbed his backpack." First of all, if somebody's getting aggressive, and mind you, these are kids, right? Why would you call the adult? And witnesses even testified before when they was walking up those bleachers to get to their canopy, they passed by at least 3 adults. That's how you knew they was on some sneaky ish. We finna do some ish. The witnesses even testified that the people that seen the long video, the real video, that one of the kids even went to go distract the coach so they couldn't see what those other kids was finna go do to Karmelo. Like, make it make sense. If a kid is getting aggressive, why would you grab his belongings? Why would you snatch his book bag? Okay.
This kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not gonna talk about the rest. So that's.
You didn't see the stab because y'all was chasing Karmelo. That's why they none seen the stab. The way it happened, they was all jumping Karmelo. They was assaulting Karmelo. That's why they didn't see the stab, because Karmelo didn't reach out to stab him. This is why the whole thing of Austin falling on Karmelo in the midst of them jumping Karmelo, this is why that makes more sense. Because if somebody is trying to intentionally stab somebody, if people are around, they gonna see. If you're in the midst, especially with them being in very, very close proximity, because they was assaulting him literally in the moment, they would have seen it if Karmelo was reaching out to stab him. But it makes more sense with people saying, and that older white lady who viewed the tape said that Austin fell on Karmelo, and that's how the poke happened. That makes more sense. Because mind you, like I said earlier, none of the boys that was assaulting Karmelo even knew that the poke happened. When they all took flight to chase Karmelo, they didn't even realize that Austin was injured. They didn't realize that until Austin collapsed in the bleachers. That's when they realized it. It took for him to fall for them to realize that one was injured. Oh, child. Okay.
That's just what I saw. And I try to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just do that.
Senseless.
Like, a man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time. And
Karmelo
he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid.
Wow.
And me and my brother, a couple of kids were walking back from the field house of the middle school, because we attended that middle school when we went to middle school. And we were saying hello to old coaches and catching up with them. And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there. We're not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always is when he's just brothers, just having my back. And things started getting more higher intensity. And the kids.
Notice how he said Karmelo started getting really aggressive, right, with his words, and then he just downplayed Austin by saying, and my brother is just how he is. He stepped in and started having my back. Then he jumped to it, started getting intensifying more, basically. So we're gonna just downplay your brother's aggression, but we, because we are trying to paint Karmelo as the aggressor. So we got to say certain words to make it seem like Karmelo was the aggressor in this situation. Mind you, the biggest thing of all of this that pinpoints Karmelo as not being the aggressor is the fact that he was sitting down the entire time. The entire time. He didn't get up until it was time to take flight and haul ass. That's the only time when he found a way to escape from them boys. Oh, child. All right.
He said some like aggressive stuff, like reckless stuff, also try to handle the problem. And yeah.
Austin was always one to step up. He always wanted to step up and be the person that would do the right thing.
All right, that's enough of that. Y'all notice how the mom said, Lord, that was so calculated. Notice how Hunter was saying, Austin stepped in to, he was trying to handle the problem. I guess Hunter was running out of words and the mama was making sure Hunter didn't say the wrong thing. So she hurried up and intercepted and said, Austin was always the one that would step in and, try to do the right thing. Girl, bye. Anyways, all right, y'all. That is it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed this live stream. We did 3 hours today. Yesterday, we did a little over 2 hours. We will be back tomorrow with another coverage of this Karmelo Anthony situation. I will be live again later for my saga people, the ones that, that's into the saga. We're going to go live at 7:45, which is in another 50 minutes. To talk about the saga, but tomorrow we'll be back with the Karmelo Anthony situation again. Okay. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for supporting this live stream. We will be back again tomorrow, like I said, with another live stream on this topic. Look out for later today. I already made the thumbnail for the saga. Thank y'all for all the support. Thank y'all for the engagement. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss Nathaniel. Okay, you don't miss nothing. I love y'all and I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye, y'all.
Y'all know what time it is. The truth teller in the spot. Always bring the facts. Yeah, she make the fake stop. Clearing out the noise. Never let the lie rock. Nope. Say it with me loud. Wipe them down, pop. Wipe them down, pop. Wipe them down, pop. Wipe them down, pop. It's Lil Park, baby. Wipe them down, pop. Wipe them down, pop. Wipe them down, pop. It's Lil Park, baby. Receipts on deck, she gon' air that out. Lil Park, wipe them down. If it's cap in the chat, she gon' call that out. Lil Park, wipe them down. Came with the proof, better watch it now. Lil Park, wipe them down. If it ain't fast, don't come around. Lil Park, baby. Wipe them down, pop. Wipe them down, pop. Wipe them down, pop. Lil Park, baby. Wipe them down, pop. Truth on blast. Lupa, wipe them down. Receipt so strong that the lies won't last. Lupa, wipe them down. When she step in the spot, all eyes on her. Lupa, wipe them down. Expose real quick, make the face to turn. Lupa, baby. Who got the truth? Lupa. Who bring the proof? Lupa. Hands to the left, hands to the right. Wipe them down. Club lit up all night. Wipe them down. Who got need? She OB. Lupa, baby. Wipe them down. Pop. Wipe them down. Pop. Wipe them down. Pop. On that Lupa, wipe them down. Blocking the trolls, never looking back. Lupa, wipe them down. Whole crowd move when the name get loud. Lupa, wipe them down. She the voice of the people and she shut them down. Lupa, baby. True too strong, wipe them down. Pop, pop. Crowds sing along, wipe them down. Pop, pop. From the booth she a beast, wipe them down. Pop, pop. It's Lupa.